Hello, hello. We are here with Hellbreaker Sequence, the Hellbreaker Sequence. And as you can see, none of us have videos. And that is because Zoom is being really, really weird. I don't know what's going on. But that's okay, because I put nice pictures of everyone up where their faces would be, or videos would be. Okay, so we're going to make some characters. We are going to make our so basically the way it works, and I really should have grabbed, oh, here it is, my books. I found a print copy of Engine of Life, but I have not been able to find a print copy in stock of Endgame, so I don't have all three of the Legacy books yet. But I have these in front of me now. So the way that character creation works in Legacy, Life Among the Ruins, is what you're doing is you're making a character for the age. Each age, you'll take control of a main character. This is the family member that's your focus this age. And we have a lot of playbooks to choose from. There's 13 in the regular book and then a bunch more in the other books. So we can kind of look through a bunch of those and find something that's interesting for all of you. But this does not mean that you have to play this character every session, and you certainly probably won't, especially because of the way we're doing it with kind of like an interlude-y feel. There'll be lots of times where, say we focus on Jared's character, and there's no reason for, on this particular, mission, Jared would happen to come across any of the rest of your characters, your main characters. And so we can, for that session, we'd have you guys make quick characters that are maybe part of the last watch, and would help Jared do his thing. So there's definitely be a lot.
The game moves along in ages, right? So
Yeah.
eventually, like when we move to a new age, your characters will all have died of age, or our characters will have died of age,
Or retired
presumably.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So, because I don't think you're allowed normally to use a character in multiple ages, right?
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah. So, in our starting state for this campaign, this is the character that's the kind of like focus of your faction right now. It does not have to mean that they are the leader, like they're in charge of the faction. We'll get into character roles later, but there's a lot of leeway that the game gives you to be influential in your faction without having to be the guy, the bureaucrat who's tied up like at the home base the whole time, right? There's so many different roles and types of characters you can have within any of your factions. And you can influence the faction and get them to do what you want without having to be the guy who's like in charge. And so as we kind of talk through this, we'll get into character roles, we'll get into playbooks, we'll get into all of those things. So let me think about this real quick. Let's see. David.
Sorry to interrupt. Would you mind linking the books to me again? Because I can't seem to find the shared file anymore.
Yep. I can do that.
I'll star it, and then I won't have to worry about it.
Sharing the whole folder, so I'll just send you that link again.
Yeah.
And yeah, you guys will probably want to reference that too, because there'll be stuff there that we'll be going through. Okay.
The link for this.
I'm sending it in Ono, the Friday group.
Okay.
Chat. We limit how often you can post, comment, or do other things in a given amount of time in order to help protect the community from spam. You can try this again later.
What?
Okay. It's not letting me post my link.
Because you've posted so many times in the last.
I don't think I have, but
there's two messages from you here.
What in the heck? It's doing that for me on my personal.
Wait, which application is giving you trouble?
Facebook now.
Facebook. That's
so weird. I don't know
weird.
what's going on.
Hold on a second. Let me see something.
I wonder if a lot of people have problems with spam right now, because
it's not stopping me. I said hi like 30 times now.
It's links though, I think is.
Oh. Yeah, that might
do
it actually.
I see. Yeah, they probably don't want you to be able to spam.
All right. Well, I'm gonna just try to
the Zoom chat
Here,
maybe.
yeah, I'll try Zoom chat. I don't know.
Sorry to send you so many highs.
No, you're fine. Zoom chat is just being really weird right now. Sorry, technology in general is just being really, really weird right now. All right, so I
A
posted that
lot
link.
of things are really weird right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Technology can tell that the organic world is failing, so it's just like, sure, why not?
So I posted that link in Zoom chat for everyone, so you can take a look at it there.
Okay, and you were going to ask me a question, I think. So
yes.
go
Well,
ahead.
so you've already made your character.
Yes,
do you want
though
to
I
just give
think
us?
for the sake of this, I might make another one because I think it might be fun for the other character to be something that gets talked about but doesn't show up right away.
Okay.
And also, then I can just do the whole thing with you guys.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So
let me do something then. I'd already filled in your information for
oh, sorry. I mean, I can
character.
just do that. If it's easier for you
No,
to
no,
do
no,
that, that's fine.
no. I think that would be fun to go through character creation
Okay.
again, because you're right. Like that character is very like esoteric and kind of like outside of everything.
Yeah.
So let's do this. For now, just so it'll be easier.
Mhm.
I'm gonna drag everybody. Okay, so on roll 20, I'm gonna drag you guys over to here now.
Oh, we're on roll 20. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and delete one of these spaces that I've had a quick character in, and we'll post your information whatever playbook you choose. So what we're gonna do, and we did this with the factions already, but because we don't have character sheets that work for everything we need them to, the expansions and stuff. In Roll20, we're just going to use the map itself to put our sheets on. And so I'm going to, once we figure out what everybody's playbooks are, I'll go ahead and post those images like on this page here, and put them next to your logo, and you should be able to fill in the information on there with Roll20, just the text boxes and stuff. And right now, everyone is a remnant, but that's not obviously the case. I just posted them there, so I know where each page is supposed to go. And once we finish putting all the images on here, I'll take off the grid, so it's easier to read everything.
Would you still like me to start, since I think I'm probably the most familiar with?
Yeah, I mean, we should, I guess, then just maybe talk about characters in general.
Yeah, that was sort of my question.
Yeah, the main reason I was just gonna, because if you had already chosen what you were, just to give an idea for everybody else, like what you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess.
Why don't I do that anyways? Because I mean,
yeah.
I don't mind talking about the character, obviously, even how I can use them. So okay. So do you want me to just go through the kinds of things they have you do?
Yeah.
Or all right, so the first thing they have is stats. Usually you pick like a set thing, and then your like there's a couple options, and then there is a modifier for your faction. My faction has lore, I think, for the +1. Now this character has kind of weird stats because he has special abilities for being a specific kind of character that I took a move to have. But so his stats are higher than normal, but they're force, lore, steel, and sway, and they're like most powered by the Apocalypse game stats. They power the different moves or whatever. You pick looks like you do in most games for this type of thing. His is masculine, a scrutinizing face, shining eyes, and a sculpted body. And then there's backstory questions, which are like the faction questions, except for the character. And then you have gear. So in gear, you get all the things that your faction gives every character. And then I think each playbook gives you a when you gear up move that essentially lets you do something special every time your character deploys into a scene, basically. Anytime you use them, they get to do something. But for my character, I just get a free outfit or weapon tag, I think, on my body, because the whole point is that my body is weird and warps itself. And then, like I said, you get all the stuff that your faction gives every character. And then most factions have some kind of special thing, I think. For instance, mine has a doctrine. I have to pick a doctrine. Maybe that was a special move thing. I don't know.
I think it was, yeah.
I know that's specific to my faction, but I don't know if every faction has this kind of thing or not.
Yeah,
Uh,
most factions have one doctrine that everyone has.
okay,
And
that's what
they
it
don't
is.
change
Yeah.
per person. Yeah.
Okay. And then you have a role. This character starts with one of his roles completed. Basically, when you complete a role, I think it's basically how you advance. Every time you complete a role, you get an advancement, essentially. And
Mm-hmm.
because of my special move, he starts with one already done, and then I will pick one for him and I use him. But I think they vary depending on the uh,
Yeah, the way
playbook you
you
pick.
mark them varies per playbook. Yeah.
Yeah. Are they always the same roles though? Like I
Yes.
have leader, agent, rebel, and
Yep.
outsider.
Those
Do
are always the
all
same.
okay?
So one
Yeah.
thing I want to mention real quick. So each of
Yep. Go ahead.
the expansion books give one new role that are
Oh, okay. I
possible.
didn't know that.
Do we want to use those? So real quick, I'll just explain them. So the way this works is besides the playbook, everybody chooses a role. You trigger one of them at character creation. David gets to trigger one before character creation and then at character creation. But you know, they give you advancements, but it also changes your role in your faction, right? So you have leader, so you are the person who is literally in charge. Agent, you work for the person who is in charge. Rebel, you're kind of like rebelling against that. You're kind of like on the edge of the faction, trying to get it to change. Outsider, you're completely outside the faction and are kind of exiled from it. The other two roles that are added from the expansion playbooks are traitor in Endgame, which is, obviously you're literally trying to undermine your own faction. I think it's not necessarily. Let me look this up real quick because obviously that doesn't sound fun in terms of like if you are playing a
Yeah.
faction, why would you undermine it? But I
Maybe
think
it's
there
more
are
like an
benefits.
usurper where you've been at least mildly successful because you have to have
Yeah.
access to the resources from your faction to some degree at least.
I'm pretty sure that it is beneficial in a weird roundabout
Yeah.
way.
I think they also vary depending on I think every faction or every playbook maybe has a different flavor for what that role means, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
that's another
the
thing.
books
It's not
add
always the same.
information for the different roles for
Mhm.
each playbook. So all the regular playbooks from the original book are given role moves and stuff in the expansion book. So any of the playbooks have access to those roles. Real quick, I'll find the trader information. So basically, right, the idea is your character is going to start off in a particular role in your faction, and they might change, and that's kind of the point. Is during the game, your character will go through different roles in your faction, and each time they do, they mark experience. They get like an advancement, and once you reach 4 completions, so in the original expansion book, that was just there are only 4 roles to choose from. But if we added the other ones, then at your 4th role, no matter how many in what order you did them or how many you chose, or which ones rather, at 4, your character dies, retires. I guess retires to safety is the idea here, and you can't play them anymore. But trader, the way that works is, perhaps you were never meant to be a leader, or virtue has led you nowhere and won you no medals. Whatever the case, the 4 main roles might not suffice you. For these desperate times, we present you with the traitor, ready to sacrifice honor and trust for salvation. For
So Jared,
mm-hmm. So Jared, yes, I thought you were gonna say something to Jared, but yes, you're correct. Yeah.
So it's less that you're a traitor to your faction and more like a traitor to society.
Well, let's get an idea. Okay, so for the remnant, for example, the remnant's traitor move, right, is mark when you sabotage the future in the name of a power or principle from before. Say whose hopes you will crush. The GM will lead you to a yet undiscovered source of ancient power or wisdom. Your choice. Yeah, so it's not traitor necessarily to your faction per se. It could be, but mainly it's just you are a traitor. You betray people, right? Like you do whatever it takes to stab people in the back and do what you deem is necessary. Now the other role is from Engine of Life, and it's like a good one, where a traitor is obviously sort of mean.
Yeah, that's fair.
The new role in Engine of Life is prophet. Perhaps you were never meant to be a leader, or you care too much for your people to simply walk away. Whatever the case, the 4 main roles might not suffice for you. We present then the prophet to shepherd your people towards your vision for the future, whether they like it or not.
Okay.
So prophets visit great change upon others, sometimes bringing pain, but always teaching wisdom and strength to those who take heed. When a character embraces this role, they introduce a mythical dimension into the story, full of songs and portents. As a GM, embrace this new dimension in your game and crank up drama and the stakes involved. So again, for the Remnant, for example, mark when you guide others through their own transformative processes. Say how they become more than human. The GM tells us how they become much less.
Nice.
Yeah, so do we want to add those roles as possibilities just to have more options, or do we want to?
I would like to, because it inherently extends my ability to play this character. So sure, I'm for it.
Prophet seems a little much, considering we've already have some notion of the cosmology of the world. Adding prophet would be a little more than we want.
I mean, it might fit. It might play right into it, though.
Yeah, because I don't think the prophet has to be like, here's a new thing. It just has to be like,
Yeah.
Here's my take on a thing. And we have a lot of things that could have their take on it, right? Like we've got a lot of
there are a lot of people there are a lot of things that someone could be a prophet for. It doesn't necessarily mean they have to make something new. We could just assign that to an existing thing. And it also is very ephemeral sounding. Like it can be applied in a lot of different ways. It doesn't have to be like, I am literally a prophet to this new god that no one's ever heard of.
Right. Yeah.
Thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Or at least it doesn't have to be that way if that's sort of how they work. I think we could probably make it work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
think
it would just have with all of these. We just have to talk about it as a group and make sure everybody's on the same page with what it's looking like. Yeah. So is everybody cool with that then?
Yeah. Which book am I supposed to be looking at? I didn't want to interrupt.
You're fine. Honestly, none of them yet.
Okay.
I'm just kind of talking in general, and then we'll look at playbooks specifically.
Yeah, it's just that those 2 moves are both from a different book, and so he was reading from them.
Okay, well, I was just looking at the link, and then I was like,
oh, right, yeah.
There are like so many books here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You'll probably need at least 2 of them at some point, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
And then the last thing on the character sheet here, and I didn't mention it, but for this character, I picked the Remnant playbook, and that defined which stats I could pick from at the beginning, and then also my looks options and that kind of stuff, and most of the stuff. And then it also gives you a list of moves like we're familiar with. And I mean, again, those are obviously just based on your playbook. And that's all I have for my character, so I think that's most of what is involved.
Yeah. Yeah. Each character also just has one last thing, has a death move.
Oh right, yeah.
Which is really fun. That's one of my favorite parts about this game is when a character dies, they get to have some sort of like awesome special thing that they go out with a bang with. So like Remnant, for example, even mortal injury can't stop the chaos in you. Choose: lose your mind in a frenzy of destruction, becoming a GM threat, or collapse into a cocoon that will transform you into something new. Move to a new playbook. So.
Okay, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, and a lot of different all the playbooks have different death moves.
Yeah, they're very different.
Right?
Yeah.
So and it has to do with the the playbook and what is important to that playbook, and what their legacy might be, sort of.
Because the Remnant is all about like weird transformation and like that kind of stuff. So yeah, that plays straight into his death move. I think one thing about roles that I don't know if I mentioned or if we mentioned is that you transition to roles through narrative stuff mostly. So like, I mean, I think you could just decide to be that role when you start a new thing. But if during one of the sessions you decide that your character is becoming one of those things, that's how you move to another one, as far as I'm aware. And
so advancement in this game is directly tied to changing your character's role among the faction.
Yeah, which happens narratively mostly.
So for example, right, like say David hasn't marked Rebel on this character sheet, but then he, it says for the Rebel role on his character sheet, mark when you seek answers to the mysteries of your creation. Say one thing you remember of that time. Say he just was starting to do that in play, right? As soon as he seeks answers to the mystery of his creation, he gets to mark the Rebel role. Because he has started to move towards being a rebel to his own faction, because maybe you're not supposed to discover the mysteries of your creation, right? That's kind of the idea there, and becomes on the edge of things.
And then as soon as I do that, or I don't know if it's in play or if it's when you become that role next time, but that I either get to increase a stat by 1 or take a new move from my playlist, playbook.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the basics of advancement. So advancement is pretty limited in this because you only advance the same character a couple times. But honestly, that's how it works, right? Like you're not going to play the same character a ton because then you'll move to a new age and all the characters will be recycled. So they're meant to be pretty.
You're meant to live hard and die bright, right?
Yeah, right. What is it that Adam Koebel always says? Driving like a burning car or a stolen car. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe both.
Yeah. Because you only have a certain amount of time with them. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So
let's talk in general then. I guess my question really is, do we want to just like go through every playbook and then just like as soon as someone says, oh, hey, this is interesting, then just stop and kind of talk about it? Or do we want to just have a general conversation about like, what is everyone interested thematically? And then we can find
I personally would like to have a discussion about what we want from the characters out of the first gate, because that will give me a lot easier, because there's a lot of playbooks and that'll let me know which ones are going to make sense.
That makes sense
for what we want to do.
Yeah. So the idea of character creation in Legacy is your characters are all going to have history together. That's kind of the idea is your characters are important to your factions, and the factions are all intricately connected to each other through all the different treaties and stuff we already did. And so the characters will be too. That doesn't necessarily have to mean they're all friends or whatever, or they even travel together ever, but they know each other, they've done stuff together, those sorts of things. And so I think we definitely do want to stray away from having all of your characters be, traveling together on a quest, right? Because that will undermine the point of the campaign we're trying to do here, which is taking smaller pieces of this and being able to play it no matter who is there at any given time.
I think it's also possible that like our characters may never meet in game, right? Because we may just never have a scene where it makes sense for both of them in the same place.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. Like, it's not like D&D where you're like, okay, well, we don't have a tank.
Yeah.
And also, I don't think it matters in this game
it
anyways.
Does not
but
at all. It really just depends on what you are interested in exploring as a member of your faction. And what's cool about this game, right, is we're going to get to see a lot of different sides of everyone's factions. So, you can feel free to play a stereotypical member of your faction for this first age. And then, from there, you can move on to something else and be like, well, okay, what if, the Last Watch, obviously, say Jared plays an assassin or whatever, right? Like some sort of special ops dude. And then next stage, he's like, well, okay, I mean, there's probably other people in the Last Watch that aren't special ops assassins. Like, what would it look like if someone was a scientist in the Last Watch, And then you play that for the next stage. There's lots of different playbooks and roles to consider. So don't feel like you're ever going to be tied down by what you choose now. There'll be plenty of opportunity to switch and change, and so my advice would just be, we can just find something that like sounds fun and then just go with it.
I think I'm gonna make a list of, like, underneath my faction, I'm making a list of playbooks that I think fit with the general theme of the faction that I might be interested in. So then when we do this later, I can just be like, have I not used any of these yet?
Sure.
And go look at my list. So that might be a thing as we go through that people want to do, just so that they have somewhere to look.
Is there a unified list of playbooks, or do we get to go sorting through
There's not,
the individual books for them?
Yeah, so maybe let's. So I guess if we don't need to have, I don't know, are we going to have a conversation about what everybody's thinking, or do we want to just start listing up playbooks?
I think.
Sorry, go ahead.
So personally, I don't have any idea what I'm going to make my first. I have some general picture of my first character, but I don't really know what's available. I would benefit a lot from going through and doing like this is the name of the playbook, this is the book they're from, and this is the general description of them, so that I can, if nothing else, I'm going to make a Google Docs list in the shared folder here, So as we go through, I'll just put the name of the faction or the name of the playbook and the source book it's from.
Yeah.
Maybe the page number. So it's an easy lookup for just quick one-off. Hey, maybe I want a playbook, but I don't remember what book it's from. It'll give me a list to look through, and then I can compile my more faction relevant playbooks list later.
Actually, Josh, if you want, at the beginning of the playbook section for each book, it has like a really brief synopsis of each one.
It does.
And
Sure,
so you could just copy and paste that whole list and then be like this book and then copy and paste the whole
what
list.
I'm
But
gonna
like
do?
that doesn't let us then go through it together.
No, I just mean for ease of your list, right?
Okay.
I think we should look through them, obviously, but I think for the sake of the list, it'd be easy. Also, I know my suggestion when we started this game, or something I thought would work when we started to do this game before, was that we start out with the typical of what you would expect from a faction, so that everyone can, one, it's easy to make because we have an idea of what the faction overall looks like, and two, then everyone can see what the faction should look like before we show them what it shouldn't look like. Because if essentially we all play characters who are quintessential of our faction, then it, I think, would highlight more when we play characters that aren't. But
I think
don't
no matter
know.
what, it's gonna end up that way. Whatever characters you guys choose to play, that will end up being sort of a quintessential member.
Although, I mean, that was kind of why I decided not to start with my other guy, because I don't think he is. So that was kind of why I thought I'd mention it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But if that makes it easier for people, I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
But then, if we want to just look through them all.
Okay. So, I'll start with the playbooks in the regular book. First, you have the Elder, a dignified and experienced leader. They're equally skilled managing a group of servants, ruling an entire family, or advising others.
Real quick, I'm playing which faction again?
Yes, sorry, I should have helped brief you on that. Okay, so
it's okay.
Let's do a really quick just run through of the factions again, for everybody's benefit. So, David, what's your faction?
I am the undead. Oh, you mean the specific stuff it came with? Yeah, the Perihelions. They are basically immortal, sort of Egyptian-esque rulers that live in a big floating sun station thing in the sky. That's them. They scream fire, and
they scream fire.
Yep. I mean, like, they make sound and the sound burns. Yeah.
Nice. And then the faction I made, which you'll be playing if you'll make a character for, I guess is the idea. It's called the Hellbreakers. Though I guess technically, Connor, if you find the Recollection more interesting, you could also play them. I made two factions.
Yeah. And describe those two again.
Yeah,
it's the memory stealing cartel, I think, right?
So first, the Hellbreakers. The Hellbreakers are, they're the playbook that I chose is the Syndicate of the Lost, which is like rebels and renegades trying to overthrow oppressors. And so they're kind of basically think of them, Connor, as they're the Israelites, a faction within the slaves of the Egyptians that are like, we need to break free from our oppression and teach the people that they have dignity. And they also use like industrial mechs and exosuits and have like power swords and ride horses.
They become the remnant eventually in the narrative, right? Is the idea?
Oh yeah, they become the people that we made up, Connor, the Israelites in the far future thing,
right?
With the dragons and whatnot. Yeah, they're the precursor to them. They're the Hellbreakers. So it's basically a bunch of.
I think I'm just confused on the names. Which one is which?
The Hellbreakers are the Israelites.
Hellbreakers are the Israelites.
Yeah, so the Hellbreakers are basically, the idea is it's a bunch of people who have been, for centuries tasked as slaves to build great constructs and wonders for the Perihelions, David's Egyptian things. And now they're trying to break free of that oppression. That's the idea.
Say it one more time? What? You're like I just couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay. Right, they're the Israelites who are breaking free of Egyptian oppression is the idea.
Okay.
That's the analogy version.
Okay, gotcha.
And then the other faction that I made is the Recollection, which is basically memory traffickers. They're like artists and merchants that use memory as their primary mode of art and trade. So they're like technology brokers and culture brokers, because mainly a lot of what they do is they give people memories of the past, like traffic in memories of the past and sell them memories of what the world was like before everything went to crap. So that's the Recollection.
That's super cool.
Mm-hmm. And then Josh, who you?
Right. I'm playing a faction called the New Harmony. The playbook I'm using is the Eldritch Servants. These are basically artists and musicians and basically artists and musicians who have encountered new and strange forms, musical or visual, that have are warped and twisted, and they're connected to a group of eldritch horrors.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're basically a cult that follows and worships these Lovecraftian eldritch beings.
Okay, yeah. David gave me just a little bit of a precursor the other day.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah. But the long explanations are like helpful as well.
Yeah.
I was commenting that I'm somewhat familiar with it.
Mm-hmm. So these are the Tannerin.
Remember the demons, Connor, that we talked about?
Right. Right. Yeah.
But they look different on this planet, right?
Yep.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Different forms, but they're still the same demon.
Yep.
So they aren't the eldritch people, but they worship them, or
my faction is not the Tannerin. My faction is the worshippers and the servants and the
worshippers of the Tannerin.
Yeah.
Correct. So my faction, they're artists and they're musicians.
Yeah.
And just people involved in art in general that have encountered this basically more like musical feeling. I'm playing around with the idea of like a music of the spheres, some kind of a sound that you're not supposed to be able to hear.
Mm-hmm.
But if you hear it, it's like tied in with these Eldritch Tannerin and the.
Alternatively, it gives you wonder system. Or makes you go mad.
Basically,
so very Lovecraftian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of going for that more light on explanation, heavy on spooky.
Fear, yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Jared, who's the last watch?
They're remnants of a pre-fall military force, and they have dedicated themselves to fighting the Eldritch horrors and destroying who was ever responsible for the fall, despite being part of it themselves.
Whoever that might be, I don't know.
That's... Yeah. Definitely wasn't the Perihelions.
Not my fault.
By the way, Connor, the fall was basically caused by terraforming technology gone wrong that made the planet into a wasteland.
Oh, okay.
And the Perihelions are the ones who developed it. So the Egyptians basically used the power of the gods too much.
Remember, Connor, I said that the reason that it's like a super paradise garden on those sun things because we found this technology and then we tried to use it on the planet and basically just reverse terraformed it into a desert on accident.
Right. I didn't think that. Yeah, I guess I was just confused on the. Now I remember that. Yeah.
And so Jared's people, the Last Watch, they were technically tasked to prevent the fall of like the apocalypse, and they failed. And now they like feel responsible, and they're trying to fix it.
Okay.
And but they also have been using the terraforming technology themselves as a weapon. So.
Oh.
Yeah. And then last, but certainly not least, we have the Forgotten Heralds. Who are the Forgotten Heralds, Carly?
They are basically robot angels.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know what else to say about them right now, but robotic angel messenger people.
I think I mentioned to him yesterday that there were others that came here and they just didn't come back, and so you came to find out what happened to them, right?
Well, that was the first idea we had, and I think we changed it to be these are the same people. And basically they were sent here by God. And remember, we're in the new like universe Connor that we've been making.
Right.
And they're sent here basically by God to stop the apocalypse, and they failed.
Right.
And now they're trying to basically save the Israelites from being destroyed entirely. And so they're going to be like one of the main like reasons and means by which eventually, the Exodus ship is built and they escape this planet, sort of a thing. That's the idea.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a matchmaker playbook? What?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Literally,
That's
there is.
Ridiculous.
It's in Engine of Life, I think.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it is. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, so let's go ahead and go through these then. So basically,
that's ridiculous.
Those are the actually real quick, Connor. Would you rather make a character for the Hellbreakers or the Recollection?
I don't know. I mean, the Recollection is just such a cool idea. Them selling memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't get much more cyberpunk than that, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm totally fine with either one, Connor. Like you can choose to like and whichever one you choose, I'll let you basically start, having control over like the specifics of them, because I made general sweeping statements about them. But yeah.
It does kind of make sense to have nobody play
the
Hellbreakers since they're basically the main characters.
Sure.
Okay.
So I think that makes sense personally.
I guess that's. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
No, go ahead.
No, I guess if that makes the most sense, then I'll go with that then.
Yeah, that's cool to me.
That makes up my mind.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm honestly, I think, more excited to see you play a character from the Recollection than I like. That sounds pretty fun.
I think I might have to play a matchmaker. This is really stupid. Also, there's a trigger for remove. This is when you behold a haven, and I definitely thought it said harem because I'm not wearing my contacts. And I was like, that can't be real. I was like, nope, it's not. It's not.
Real quick, Connor, I'll just give you a little bit of a rundown, a bit more of the Recollection, just so you know.
I was thinking about asking, that I didn't want to like stop the whole.
No, you're good.
Everything to okay.
Yeah. So what I went ahead and did for them, so they have
And is this written down somewhere too, or not?
Yes. You know what? I'll drag you to. Are you on Roll20 at all?
No, I didn't realize we were supposed to be.
Yeah, I probably want to jump on if you are able to. But I'll drag people over to the family playbooks again.
Gotcha.
So the Recollection, I went ahead and gave them reach +2, grasp -1, sleight +0, which basically means they're worst at violence, middling at stealth and like sneakiness, and the best at diplomacy. So that's what the faction is the best at. They have a surplus of the resources artisans and culture. So they have lots of people who make things and like are artists, and they also have like a lot of culture, but they need barter goods, prestige, and luxury. They don't have any of those. They're like in dire need of those three things. Any other resource you could think of, they're just like barely enough to get by, sort of thing.
What are the things they need again?
They need barter goods, prestige, and luxury.
Okay.
So they're in need of those things. They're struggling to get them. So I chose for them that let's see. There was a different thing. Need to look at this. The Eternal Masquerade. The family playbook, the name of it originally was The Eternal Masquerade. Their main thing, Connor, is they all wear masks. Like they have a bunch of weird like types of masks that they all wear depending on like their station, their role in their faction, and so think of them as like Persians, kind of, right? So like kind of exotic and mysterious, and they all like wear weird like alabaster masks and stuff.
Okay, yeah, I'm super down with that.
Yeah, their symbol is like a mask, like that has like tears coming down the eyes. So the ruins of before, what I chose for each of the playbooks gets to change something about the way the apocalypse happened. I chose for them the ruins of before are places of intricate and affecting beauty. So that is something that's true. So which makes sense because of the Perihelians. They're made such a wonderful society, sort of a thing, for themselves anyway. Also, I chose they are ephemeral beings who cling to fleshy husks. So they're people, but like there's something very weird and odd and mysterious about them. They're one step from making themselves into transcendence, sort of a thing, right? Like uploading their brains to the cloud, sort of a thing.
So cyberpunk.
Yeah, they're like low tech cyberpunk, because I think all of their maybe low tech aesthetic, I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah. Most of their technology does not look like high tech. It's very like mystical looking, and whether or not it's actually technology or magic, it's kind of up in the air. Their style is silks and alabaster masks. So yeah, they wear masks. They have like expensive silks, and also their governance is the people that are in charge basically are seers, like oracles that interpret portents hidden in lyrics and videos from the before. So they have all of these past memories, and memories can also be like files and data from the past. And basically they have a bunch of like seers and oracles, like fortune tellers or whatever you want to call them, that interpret like all of the memories and lyrics and videos and whatever else data exists. They try to interpret the future based off of those like memories from the past.
Okay.
So that's those are who are in charge, like a bunch of seers. And let's see. I was going to ask you guys this question. There's a couple of history things that we can do with them then. Real quick, which one of the other factions uses their art in one of your most important rites?
Is this for treaty and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna find my section for this.
This is for the Forgotten Heralds? Not Forgotten Heralds, sorry.
The Recollection. Yep.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Which one of you uses our art in one of our most important rites? One of your most important rites.
Sounds like Eldritch Servants to me.
Yeah.
Well, no, because Eldritch Servants would do their own art.
That's what I think it might be the Perihelians.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, my only thought is that isn't their art basically stealing our stuff already?
I mean, what do you mean?
They steal our memories and stuff, right? Isn't that what they do?
No. They peddle memories from the past, right? Like.
I thought the idea was that they stole ours because our memories are great up in the sun, and then they sold them to people who couldn't come up here.
I think that was the initial idea we had, but
apparently I was just not here when all the initial ideas stopped happening.
I think it was vague enough that we never really settled on like specifically what was happening.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, there's probably some of both, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense that the Perihelion would want information from the past that they didn't have, since they're supposed to have all of it.
Yeah.
So I think that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So use.
And then also you tell the table about the ceremony. And
okay, no, I'm sorry. What was this faction's name again?
the Recollection.
Recollection, right? I don't know why I can't recollect that ever.
It also says so he gets 2 treaty then from you. I'll write this down for you, Connor.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay, I know what it is. Sorry. Let me write it down first.
And then also, real quick, which one of you sees our lifestyle as decadent?
Definitely not me.
Probably the Hellbreakers.
Probably, yeah.
That's
So
what I was
Connor
gonna
got 2
say.
treaty
That
on
makes
me,
no
right?
sense.
Just to clarify.
What?
Connor got 2 treaty on me, right?
Yes.
Sorry.
You're good.
And the ceremony is the ceremony we have when the perihelion who live on the secluded, like, synthetic island are inducted into Azimuth proper. So there's like basically an ascendancy ceremony, and they have to
Yeah.
use all these ancient memory things so that they know things they should, even though they're too young.
Because I think the idea with the perihelions, David, right, is like they are the leftovers from this ruling class, but like they've lost so much of their technology and like the way that they were able to do everything.
Well, and the book says basically that we have to have found this because we don't know most of how Azimuth works.
Yeah.
Like there's this really cool thing. You don't really get it. It makes you really immortal, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's more that, I mean, we probably have lost some from having screwed up and ruined the world, but a lot of it is just that we didn't know for sure what was going on at any point. So
Sure.
yeah, we basically just found it first.
Yeah, sure.
And told everybody that we didn't find it first. What do you mean? We made this. It's
And then
ours.
lastly, whose youth is enthralled by our lifestyle?
So I don't see that as being particularly resonant with the New Harmony. With the fantasy of it being more or less a form of insanity.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't. Yeah. So as far as
I think it might be the Hellbreakers again.
be Hellbreakers or Last Watch?
Yeah, that's actually on a thing. Last Watch, but also, who are the kids of the Last Watch? Like,
Good point.
Right? Like,
I mean, I feel like they're probably pretty scrappy kids.
Spartan children that are left in the woods to fend for themselves for 5 weeks.
Which means, I mean, of any faction whose youth would have the opportunity and perhaps the means to go and use memory drugs, I feel like it would probably be them.
Yeah, maybe the Last Watch then.
Okay.
And also that means that they might stumble upon really useful information about other factions that way, you know?
That's true, yeah. So maybe there's like a younger, like a cell that has a lot of younger members that's like, oh yeah, we need to use the memories to like save the world.
Got any more of them good memories?
I like the idea that their kids are literally just, you have to be so brutal and aggressive that one of the cells is like, sure, we'll take you, and otherwise your life is just trying to prove yourself to people you can't see. Sounds horrible.
Yep. Cool. The only other things, Connor, is that their like gear that they get, they fight with cutting words. Ranged and aberrant is ranged and aberrant is the tag. So literally, like
literal. Okay.
I think it's.
I love that.
Yeah, it's maybe like.
Oh my goodness.
Chanting or something. It's probably somewhat musical in nature too. Just because there's a lot of like music as a theme in this game that we're trying to hit. Because also, Connor, I forgot to tell you, we're cannibalizing Life Singer for this.
Oh, okay.
And you're gonna use that to like a lot of the magic is gonna be based on music and songs and stuff.
What's Life Singer?
Okay.
Life
So
Singer
no
is one of
idea.
the worlds that we made up a long time ago, back in the 374 cycle days.
Okay, good. I was a little nervous. I'm like, wait a minute, we're cannibalizing someone else's fiction.
No.
We
So
are,
what's
but your
actually really
fiction.
interesting is in Life Singer, basically what happened was a bunch of people made the world end, and the world was dying, and like life was being destroyed everywhere, and the only thing that stopped it was this something called the life song, which if a life singer sang it, it like gave life to the people to keep living as the world was dying. That was like the main idea,
I
and that
think,
fits
yeah.
perfectly in this.
Wasn't the
Yeah.
world dying because the people had some kind of weird disease or they had some condition where if they weren't sung to, they would die?
Yeah.
And
What
so they would
happened
go around
was-
and
Mhm.
suck life out of the
Yep.
world
Yep.
to sing the people back to life,
Yep.
and then that was why the world was dying.
Is because they were
think.
killing it one piece at a time to keep the people alive. Yeah, because
Yeah.
something had broken and the people couldn't like stay
Mhm.
alive on their own. Yeah, they had some sort of weird magical thing that they would
Yeah.
just die because
Like
they were being
24,
cut
48
off from-
hours without song. Yeah, they'd
Exactly.
die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I like the idea that if one of your people fights one of my people, everyone around us is just gonna get barbecued and sliced into pieces.
Yeah. So basically, Connor,
And
these
and
guys.
if we've got
yeah.
if we got a New Harmony member involved, then they're also going mad
Yeah.
Yep.
because New Harmony fights with words of madness and power.
Do we all have verbal weapons? I mean,
Yeah.
I know that one of them has a
Audio
horn,
weapons.
right? Yeah, audio
I know
weapons.
Carly's has like trumpets.
What do wars look like? What is happening?
I think the Last
Earmuffs
Watch and the
are-
Hellbreakers are the only ones who actually use weapons.
Earmuffs
Yes,
are
so.
the new body armor.
Right. Gosh.
But yeah, so cutting words is their
Yeah.
weapons. So magical music or just words in general, you can kind of take that wherever you want to do it.
Rap battles.
I was gonna say,
That
I
was
feel like
one
there has to
idea.
be an element of skill in
Yeah.
what you're saying, because otherwise
It's-
it'll just be.
I mean,
screaming
they're
when people
bards. Is
die.
really what this
Diss
is.
tracks.
Yeah,
No, it's
Bard
diss
Wars.
tracks.
Yeah. Your mom was
Rappers
so fat.
dropping
Oh, he's
diss
dead.
tracks.
Yep, it's great.
You're defended by
Anyways.
silk stitch with psionic art.
Oh, I was like, that sucks, and then I was like, nope, never mind, that's pretty good. So
Uh,
Wait,
not a
say-
good armor.
Huh?
Psionic?
Say that again.
So your armor in
Psionic.
quotation marks that your people get are silks
Okay.
stitched with psionic art.
That's pretty.
Silk
So-
stitched with psionic art.
Yes.
Okay.
So
That
basically,
is
like
a difficult sentence
magic-
to understand over the
I know.
microphone.
magical
Yeah.
clothing. Magical clothing. Is the
Right.
idea.
Okay.
And then what useful expertise can you draw on? Agents. Agents that are good at seeding interest. So basically, you can always call on agents that are good at seeding interest to help your main character.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's basically the idea of the recollection. All right, cool. Well, now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about characters. I'm gonna go through the playbooks. So I'm also gonna mention so there's 3 levels of playbook weirdness. Ruins. Oh, what's the other ones? I guess I'll just do 1, 2, and 3. Right. So 1 is this could happen in our world. 2 is super technology, like sci-fi, and 3 is fantasy, right? And so when I mention what level of weirdness these playbooks are, it's basically like what level of weirdness fits that playbook fits in. So it's basically like, do I want to be really weird in fantasy? Do I want to be kind of sci-fi, or do I want to be? Could I be normal, like a normal person? But all of these are like fantastic in the sense that they're good at what they do. It's not like they're better than the other. It's just kind of a weirdness. So you have the Elder, which is level 1 weirdness. A dignified and experienced leader. They're equally skilled managing a group of servants, ruling an entire family, or advising others. You have the Envoy, level 1 weirdness. Equal parts diplomat, spy, and courier. They're great at reaching isolated communities, turning enemies into allies, and winning your family respect. The Firebrand, weirdness 1. An agitator and agent provocateur. Even against the greatest oppressor, they can find allies, sabotage their infrastructure, and tear them down. The hunter, weirdness 1. A soldier, an assassin, and a monster hunter. If you want something killed, no matter how powerful or well defended, you want a hunter. The machine, weirdness 3. Constructed by advanced technology, the machine has many precise tools they can draw on, even as they grapple with free will and self-determination. So basically, you are a purely like synthetic person, like, you know, trying to. But this is the thing, Carly. You don't have to choose that one. You could.
I know, but it does sound fitting so far.
It totally does, and I think one thing we have to keep in mind is because your faction is completely made up of synthetic, like robot angel things. If you're playing the machine, part of probably what it would be is this would be an angel who's struggling with their program.
Yeah, it would specifically be, yeah.
Yeah, right? Like someone who'd be like, I am having a crisis of like, am I a person or not? That's kind of the idea. We have the Promethean, level 3 weirdness, a technological prodigy. They don't dabble with tech. They improve and customize it, unlocking incredible uses for otherwise expendable, and peculiar devices. The Reaver, weirdness 2, a raider, infiltrator, and pioneer. They've adapted to the strange environments outside of the homeland and now strike out of those inhospitable territories to pillage softer lands. So like you're gonna be like a pirate or a bandit. The Remnant, which is what David made, his first one. Weirdness 3, a being twisted and changed by the power of the fall. They can call on that energy to perform inhuman feats of strength, skill, or charisma. The Scavenger, weirdness 1, an explorer with a hard-earned affinity for the wasteland. They're experts at navigating its ruins, hunting down tech, and improvising strange effects from it. The Seeker, weirdness 2, a scientist and lore keeper who scours the wasteland trying to understand the world before and its strange sciences and can use that knowledge to heal or to harm. The Sentinel, weirdness 1, tough, canny, and tactically gifted. They've dedicated themselves to protecting others from danger, even if they suffer in the process. The Survivor, weirdness 1. They've seen the worst of the wasteland and passed through the other side. Now they use what they learned to make sure others survive too. The Untamed, weirdness 1. Uncompromisingly free, stoic, and brutish, a new barbarian suited to the end of civilization and the birth of a new world. And that's all the playbook's in the original book. So, what are we thinking? Did anything jump out to anyone immediately so far? I'm gonna keep reading.
I tend to make elder characters because the past couple of factions have been really religiously themed.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to try to steer away from that this time.
Sure.
But it is a good fallback if I need to. Firebrand could be a possibility for me, but they tend to be a little more they prefer the insidious side of operations as opposed to inflammatory. So, again, possibility maybe later.
Sure.
I've got a list of 12, so I'll let someone else pick first.
Let's see. I'll go through the playbooks in Endgame. I think there are some ones in here that might interest some of you. There's some pretty cool ones. The Foundling, weirdness 3. Raised by someone other than their family, the Foundling has divided loyalties, but can combine the powers of their family and their tribe to build something incredibly powerful. The Hellion, a kid with weirdness 3. A kid with incredible abilities and ties to the unnatural and the mysterious. A dark and messy counterpart to Engine of Life's Prodigy. There's a different playbook that's basically this, but like good, right? The Herald, weirdness 3. A mystic of the end times, able to harness power from the mementos of the past and worship of the mysterious icons. In their search for signs or relics, heralds play almost a different game from everybody else. On the other hand, they can become anything at any given moment. The Martyr,
what does that even mean?
I mean, we can dig into it further, yeah, if you're interested in that. Like, what is the Herald? Let's look. Let's see.
Yes, I'm interested in the Herald, but I'm also just like very confused as to the majority of these playbooks. That's okay.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Explain the Herald.
Yeah. The Herald. What do you desire? To find every scrap of lore left behind on the sorry. What do you desire? To find every scrap of lore left behind on the symbols and stories of the world before, to immerse yourself in them and let them all wash over you until someone else stares back from the mirror. So I guess the idea is... let's see.
So I found personally, like, if you like the sound of one but you're not sure what it does, just go to the end of the playbook and read the moves, because that is the most mechanical bit of what you will be doing. And it gives you a really good idea of what the class does. Literally, what I've been doing is going through the playbooks and reading the moves on every playbook, and that's how I decide if I think a class fits. Because I've literally read the description of some classes, went to the moves, and been like, "Oh, that's not what I expected at all."
And that's fine.
After having read the whole class.
Okay, yeah.
We can read through these more specifically. So
I was just saying, if they think one sounds cool, because we don't want to have to read the moves for every single one.
Yeah, obviously.
But if you think one sounds cool, there's like 6 or 7 moves per class. It's really easy to get an idea for them. Just skim over it, and if you're like, oh yeah, that sounds awesome, then cool.
Yeah.
And if not, you can just look for the next one.
So basically, the idea with this one, Connor, is, as I'm looking at it, it looks like it's someone who is a relic hunter of like scraps of lore left behind from the world before, and their moves are, you can basically, you have one move, and it switches based on which. So it says here, icon moves. Choose the kind of icon you're emulating at character creation instead of a roll. So you don't get a roll, and you get one move that you can switch, and you can switch between a set of like 7, but you only have one at a time.
Basically, you're like constantly projecting some legendary figure, and you can change which legendary figure it is.
Exactly.
And then when you do that, you change what you can do, basically.
Yeah. So the moves are mentor, hero, anti-hero, trickster, the martyr, the villain. So literally it's like, for example, mentor. Shift to this role when you act as a mentor for a prodigy, and add +2 to lore or sway. The GM says what the homeland hopes they'll accomplish. Hero. Something must be found, rescued, or conquered. Shift to this role when you take on the quest to find it, and add +2 to force or steal. Say how your family will suffer if you fail. So it's literally just like you are a living incarnation of legends of the past, and you switch between them at will, like when you need to do them, right? Like when you're
kind of like the fisherman.
You're an actor where your role actually gives you special abilities.
Yeah,
I love that. That's fantastic.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember reading
I'm definitely
that and being
down.
Like, that's a lot of creative power. But yeah,
I'm definitely down for that idea in terms of like the memory people.
I know,
like the recollection.
That's true. That would be so awesome, and it makes sense that a person in that cult that sort of cartel might lose their actual personality.
Yeah, don't call it a cult. Come on, man.
No, that's my job.
Yeah, exactly.
This makes me think a little bit of the job stones from Final Fantasy, because you change your weapon and your job stone out, and that changes the skills and abilities you have available to you.
Look, you're all shady people way down there running around. It's all the same to me. I don't know. Cults, cartel, what's the difference? But yeah, I know what you mean, Josh. That's how it feels to me too. You can basically just swap it.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you up there over the sound of the world groaning from the mess you've made.
What do you mean? It looks fine up here.
So the one thing to consider with this one, though, is that you don't get any special moves, per se. All of these you get just straight up stat bonuses, like massive stat bonuses. And so what it is basically, and especially if you're, as you play this character and you get advances, right? I guess you could never do that. You never advance because you're always just shifting around, and because it's based on the rolls, right? And this replaces rolls. So you just have stat increases that change. So it may not be, just a warning, it may not be the most like evocative in terms of like, I have this special, the special move. You're going to be using the basic moves a lot, but you're going to be really good at those.
It sounds like it relies pretty heavily on narrative to make it interesting, which I think it has a lot of potential for.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, I mean, keep that in mind, and we'll keep reading these. But that sounds really cool. At the very least, you need to play that at some point with this, with the recollection, because that seems perfect.
It would be a good one to mark down.
You still get your inheritance moves, though.
Yes. Yep. That's true.
That's true.
Yeah, you get the family moves. Yeah. Okay, so then you have the Martyr, Weirdness 1, an everyday hero who grows more powerful as things get more painful and hopeless. A mystic, a berserker, a champion of the weak, one who will surrender their life for others. Sounds like Cantarius.
Say it again.
It sounds like Cantarius.
No.
The martyr.
Before that.
The martyr, an everyday hero who grows more powerful as things get more painful and hopeless. A mystic, a berserker, a champion of the weak, one who will surrender their life for others. Okay, so you have the road warrior, weirdness 1. More than simply defined by a mighty ride, the road warrior is the missing warrior archetype, the errant knight, one who has seen and done it all and carries the scars to prove it. And then you have the warlock, weirdness 3. The warlock takes possession of all the broken and dark things of the world and uses them for pragmatic purposes. If you live by high risk, high reward maneuvers and shady deals, this is your character. And then last, but certainly not least, we have the playbooks from the Engine of Life. And these are the Beacon, weirdness 1. The people in this world of ruin need hope and light. Your calling is to find the transcendent beauty that still remains, nurture and grow it, and use it to revitalize this land. The Historian, weirdness 1. The world before is gone, but its lore lingers in 1,000 scraps. You have made it your life's work to hunt those scraps down. Let each one lead you to a greater trove of lore, and use that wisdom to guide your family. The Matchmaker, weirdness 1. An agent of love, bringing people together across the wasteland and forging new alliances while understanding what the people they meet truly long for. The Saint, weirdness 1. Something is constantly going wrong somewhere in the wasteland. A community is ravaged by wildfires. A bombed-out building is collapsing. A horde of beasts is stampeding a caravan. You can't stop that, but you can save the civilians caught in the path of catastrophe. You'll dive into the fire, break through the rubble, and bring them out of danger, whatever the cost. The Storyteller, weirdness 1. If these struggles are going to matter, if a new society is to rise from these ashes, their stories will have to be written, told, and remembered. While the historian looks to the past for insight and tries to find the truth, you spin analogies and proverbs out of the world around you and wield metaphors to communicate a deeper truth. The Prodigy, weirdness 3. The world changed in the fall. Reality itself was torn and twisted. For the most part, this was led to horrors. But in time, this new world may create wonders too. You're young, naive, and your potential is unknown. They may try and shelter you, protect you, but you have powers they could never dream of. And last, the Scout, weirdness 1. The wasteland has hidden paths, secret treasures, isolated communities, and strange new flora and fauna. You know them all. Your friends will see the wonders of the wasteland with new eyes. Your enemies will never see you coming.
Surprise.
All right. What are we thinking? Anything jump out? Anything we want to look at more?
I think I want to do the machine.
The machine?
At least to start out with, yeah.
Yeah.
Feed the machine.
All right, I'm going to start dragging these on. Anyone else have something to jump out to them or something they want to look at more?
I'm digging into Warlock right now.
Cool.
I have a lot of them. Mostly I'm trying to figure out what the faction's direction is going to be so that I can play a character that is doing that.
Yeah.
So that I can align that in the beginning, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So...
Dude, Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
Warlock's rebel role. Mark when you declare war on a family or faction that gave in to corruption and wickedness. Name the eldritch force you bargained with to bring them down. The GM will name the terrible price you have to pay for that.
That is awesome.
Nice.
I think I'm making a warlock.
I mean, that seems pretty, yep.
I guess I'll make a paladin then. Someone can stand in front of me. Oh, wrong game. Sorry.
Okay, let me drag Warlock on there.
Yeah, Warlock was one of the ones I put down. That's a really cool class. Or playbook. There's also the Prodigy, which is like a psychic child, which is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know.
Where are we in Roll20? Are we on our which game?
Hellbreaker Sequence. I think you might not be in it yet.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Where'd you guys send the link?
I'll put it in Zoom chat right now.
There we go.
The Hunter and the Sentinel seem fitting. Where are those at?
I think those are in the main book.
Which one is that?
It just says Legacy Life Among the Ruins 2E.
Legacy Like Among the Ruins. Endgame?
No.
No.
Oh, I
Just-
found it. Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. As soon as I saw those. Seems pretty Jared.
There's also a class that is literally like a punk kid. So if you ever wanted to play one of those Spartan children who's been kicked out and like trying to do his thing, I think that class would be pretty awesome. Or that playbook. I don't know why I keep saying that. I think it's like the the Hellion, I think.
Oh, the Hellion.
Yeah, I think it's literally like a punk kid.
Well, specifically, that one also is like you have magic.
Oh, I didn't read that part. I might do a road warrior, honestly. My only concern if I play an aggressive playbook is that I'll get even more. I feel like I'm gonna get ganged up on already. So if I play an aggressive book, I think I might just seal the deal on that. I don't know if that's a good plan. Let's see. Where is the road warrior? That must be endgame. Yeah.
What are Force, Lore, Steel, and Sway?
Oh yeah.
So character.
So those are the stats. Real quick. Sorry, I'm trying to move all this. Where it's supposed to be. I'll make a character too. For the main character, the Hellbreakers, just because I'm kind of playing it as a faction that I'm controlling. Give me 1 second, and I will. Some of those did not work. Okay. So, the stats. The stats in this game are core character moves. Okay. Force is obviously like attacking stuff. So you use it to fiercely assault when you are when you have an appropriate weapon at hand, or when you use an appropriate weapon to hurt, capture, or drive off your enemies. Roll plus force. Right. So that's just attacking. Lore is used to use tech and data and find mysteries. One of the main things you can do with it is unleash power. When you find a marvel of the world before or a strange remnant of the fall, and you use this device, say a thing you want it to do based on the clues you know about it, and roll plus lore, and so you can use it to use weird technology.
Mhm.
Sway is, diplomacy, charisma. When you ask someone to work with you to find common ground, roll plus sway. And then for steel, I believe it is wasteland survival. Yeah, when you navigate through the wasteland outside of settled lands, roll plus steel. So it's like your apocalypse survival skills. Connor, what
And
do
this
you
is an
think?
Apocalypse World hack?
Yeah, it's based on the same, engine.
What am I thinking for what? What's the question right now?
Playbook.
Huh?
Playbook.
What do you mean?
What are you thinking for your playbook that you're going to choose?
Oh, like what type of character?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
That's what they're called instead of classes.
Yeah.
It's playbooks.
Yep. Gotcha. Storyteller looks fun.
Yeah.
I forget what the name of the one we were talking about earlier was.
The Herald.
The Herald. Really, was it?
Yeah, the Herald. Let's see, I'll find one for me too.
I'm slightly out of range of Bluetooth, so if you can't answer, that's why.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know yet.
Yeah, that's fine.
Did everybody else make their characters already?
No, we're just all
No.
choosing playbooks.
Okay, gotcha. And do we have any idea what like the first arc is going to be?
Well, that's what the character playbooks will decide for us. A lot of.
Okay.
Based on the history we have with each other and the roles that we start off with, that will give us a lot of information as to what we're going to do.
Okay, gotcha.
So many good choices.
So I think mine is mostly going to depend on how aggressive the other factions are towards mine. So I guess if anybody has an idea, because like if it's sort of starting in a circumstance where everyone's gunning at them, then that's sort of going to be their response. But if not, then I'll pick a more passive playbook.
So Josh is doing Warlock. Carly's doing Machine. Jared, have you decided?
I'm still going. It's going to be Hunter or Sentinel.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, Hunter.
Cool. All right, I'll drag that over for you.
Caleb,
Mm-hmm.
weaponized Enigma
What?
is so cool. Weaponized Enigma. You can always sense which direction the nearest wound in the world lies in. When you stand in it and direct its energies, roll plus steel to use it as a weapon. Far aberrant area. On a 10 plus,
Pain?
pick 1. On a 7 to 9, pick 2. It takes some time to go off. There's wide, unintended collateral damage. The wound spawns hostile grounds around it. You must sacrifice a source of hope for the world.
Wow. That is intense.
Pick 1 extra to turn the attack into a disaster that will consume the countryside, bringing down infrastructure and hurt even behemoths.
What the heck?
I love this playbook already. I am a big fan of this campaign already. Sorry for the mic bump.
No, you're fine.
Oh, so cool.
Oh, wow. Sorry, I'll be right back. I gotta let my dog in.
Hey, David, you near your camera? Are you near your screen? Jared, you near your screen?
Oh yeah.
I got a new toy.
Ooh, that's fancy.
Mm-hmm. I was running out of keyboard buttons.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could just, get better at hitting Shift and Alt.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could buy a special keyboard that's just for it with my that I can rebind my movement buttons to something other than my index or other than my middle finger.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got the little direction pad on my thumb, and it's pretty cool.
What was just being talked about?
Oh, sorry, I was muted on.
I got a new toy.
Ooh.
I was saying I was
It's a
impressed,
keyboard.
but I was muted. So.
Oh. I wanted one of these things for literally years and never actually went and bought one, and then they went on sale on Amazon, and I'm like, okay.
Nice. Connor, you decided?
I think I'm gonna go with the Herald.
Yeah. Cool.
Can't think of a better idea.
Yeah. Let me look at where that one is.
Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
The death move.
What's the death move? Please tell me.
So you get your harm boxes: beset, twisted, haunted, hounded, and sequestered.
Mm-hmm.
When you mark off your sequestered box, you are yanked out of this world and locked in your own personal nightmare realm. You can't escape on your own.
Oof.
That's right. All of those who die with you in the same scene will end up there as well.
Whoa.
With their help, you may well all come back to life.
Whoa.
What?
Isn't that amazing?
I am so pumped to actually finally play this role-playing game, because that's just cool.
Someone picked the Herald, right?
Yeah, Connor just did.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to pick something that someone was already doing.
Oh, I thought you were saying like, thank you, somebody picked it. Like,
Oh no,
like, very good.
No, I'm just trying to find an option that isn't combat related in case that's more appropriate, since I've already got my combat related one. straight.
Gotcha.
And so I had the Herald on my list, but I didn't want to look at it if someone was taking it already. Let's see.
Okay. So only ones we need to do now is David needs to decide. And
well, I'm still sort of not sure what the state of the setting is in at the beginning, which is kind of why I don't know yet what stance they would have. So I think that's really only something the other players could tell me if they have any information about that yet, which it's fair if they don't.
Are you talking about just in terms of like their faction's view of yours?
Yeah, like generally as a faction, who would be the major player? Would it be an aggressive character in mind because we're in a battle, or would it be, sorry for the music in the background, or would it be a more diplomatic one because we're not actually being aggressed, you know?
I mean, I don't know. Let's look at the treaty stuff that you guys chose. Looks like
I don't
so
think any of them
far.
say that we're at war or anything.
Right. Yeah. Looks like so far. The Last Watch has found power in the confines of the Redoubt. The New Harmony has been saved by an inhuman traveler that you're interested in. My kin suffer as your thralls. Obviously, we're hostile to each other. I know that much.
Well, I mean, obviously we have to like keep you guys in, but is it like, are there rebel cells that are actively fighting, or are they just obviously oppressed?
I would think it's still beginning of a,
because the Road Warrior is really aggressive. Like basically, if I'm at war with someone, I'll pick them, and if not, I will.
Are we okay? Are we all okay with saying none of us are like actively fighting each other right now?
Well, I probably shouldn't pick the villain character then.
Well, because this is the thing. Like, I don't think the game even really like does that well. Like, we're all supposed to be kind of tentatively like neutral, in terms of like war and peace. Like, I think the idea is none of the factions have enough resources to like flat out do any war with anyone. So I think that's just off the table for a starting state.
Suppose. I mean, there's a lot of combat related playbooks for there to not
fighting
be.
is different than like an actual like conflict is happening. So like there's a lot of tension, but I don't think there's any outright like fighting yet. A lot of it's probably, if there is any fighting, it's probably a lot of it's done like by the Last Watch and it's secret.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the Last Watch is the most violent of any of these groups, and they do it in a secret way that doesn't come back to them.
Right. All right, well then right now I'm looking at the Elder then in that case, but I'm not sure yet. I'm going to check a couple others. Hi, Gwen.
Warlock is a fairly like fight-based class too, I guess.
And that's okay. Like, fighting is fine. Like, there's also going to be lots of external stuff that you guys could also fight. You don't have to fight each other necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but there's no pressure to choose or not choose any combat class or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you chose Herald. David, what are you thinking then?
I'm looking at.
So I hold.
Yeah, go ahead.
Herald is essentially the villain character. Are we down with that then, or am I going to choose something else?
Herald doesn't have to be a villain.
Oh. Okay, it literally says the first line is the villain.
Where?
Oh, those are roles you could take, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm.
For the
thinking.
Herald?
Wait a second. This is weird.
Is it? Am I looking at the wrong playbook?
Yeah, the handout is different than.
Of course it is.
Oh, okay.
It does that sometimes. It's kind of weird like that. I think there were a few edits that weren't done last second.
I was gonna say, because I can see a villain. The villain is listed under Herald Playbook, but it's a role that you can take on.
Let me look at the Herald again.
So you don't always get that role. Or
oh,
icon.
the Herald does get moves. That's cool.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I don't know what you're talking about because I see moves here.
Yeah, I just didn't look at the next page. Yeah, the villain is one of the roles that you can switch into, Connor.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you can also be mentor, hero, anti-hero, trickster, martyr.
Yeah.
Okay.
For some reason, the trickster the martyr and the villain aren't listed on the handout that I just popped onto Roll20, but we can put them in if we need to.
Should I be watching the handouts, or is the playbook
handout's
okay?
not what you're looking at. Here, I'll pop everybody over to the character playbooks now. I've been putting them on there.
Okay.
I'm trying to decide also for me what I'm gonna make still. Because there's a couple of ones that look really interesting, like the Martyr and the Saint look really cool. But also I feel like they're maybe too, what's the word? Too dynamic.
Oh, because you're also going to be GMing?
Yeah.
That's fair.
Like, I could definitely see one of the Hellbreakers being, like the Hellbreaker main character being one of those in a later age, but right now I don't want to take any of the spotlight away from you guys.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the things for mine. A lot of the playbooks, I'm like, I got to do this one. I'm like, it doesn't really make sense to have this high of a narrative peak from this character.
Yeah.
Right away.
Right,
so.
And that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, that's kind of, yeah, that's my my thought here is we don't really know our starting state, and we were going to say, well, let's just choose starting state based on playbooks. Would it be better just to choose a starting state, and then we can kind of pick our playbooks around it?
A lot of it depends on character history, which is playbook dependent, which is the idea. But we can have a short, brief conversation just about like what we maybe don't or do want from a starting state in terms of like what we feel comfortable with in terms of narrative.
Well, I think I was the only one that hasn't chosen, right? So
yeah.
I mean, I think I'm just gonna do the Elder. So maybe we could do our backstory things, and if that doesn't give us a good enough idea,
if it doesn't give us a good enough idea, then we can go from there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I'm just trying to pick mine real quick. Let's see. I might just do the Firebrand because that's the most obvious choice.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And just start with that, and then I can do something more crazy later. Okay, let me drag these over real quick just so we have all of these on the screen. So you're doing the Elder, you said? David, you said you're doing the Elder?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, I suppose our surpluses and needs are really where we should look for our.
That will determine, like a lot of what like you guys are going to be doing in the immediate. So it's basically those three things, right? It's character history, character history. What's the other thing I'm thinking?
Probably like threats and
character history, roles,
and
surpluses and needs. Those are the three things that really decide this. Okay, real quick, I'm just gonna put this over here so we have all the characters up where they're supposed to be, and then we can go ahead and start working through this a bit at a time. Okie dokie. Awesome. So let's work through this together. And what you're going to be doing is on Roll20, you're just going to be typing on the sheet itself, right? So if you're on that page that I dragged everybody to on Roll20, basically you'll just be writing on it with the text options on Roll20. And you can make a little X in a text box and put it on the moves that you'll have to choose, those sorts of things. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yeah. Do you have a specific text size that works well on the scale of these sheets?
Let me look. I know I did it on the family playbook. So it looks like
22 seems decent.
Sure, that'd be great.
Latte?
Yes.
Like maple syrup.
Yes. Oh, thank you.
Oh, here. I'm going to take off the grid now. So we can drag around the text easier. Yeah.
Right, with the grid off, it looks like it's suddenly the text is a lot smaller. Could just be me.
It's weird.
Okay. Sorry about that. So yeah, it looks like like 20 to 30 might work. Okay. Let us do this. So first you start with stats. All right, so look at does everybody have open the character playbook?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it says, right, choose one and add your family bonus. So go ahead and choose one of those stat options. And then on the sheet in Roll20, there should be all of those should be there. And you can just put an X on the one you choose. And then add your family bonus to the final scores that you are going to put in the place right below the name option on the sheet in Roll20.
Nope, that's Harold. Never mind. I was looking at the wrong playbook going, why is this different?
Okay, I'm on Roll20.
Your character sheet, Jared, is right next to the icon of yours, the skull.
I only have 3. There's only 3.
Look at on the page itself, like the map area.
So we're not doing character sheets the way we have traditionally.
Oh, I just had to zoom out. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard for me to on my phone look zoom out. I'm not sure how to do that yet.
I can't. The text on Roll20 is so small and fuzzy. I'm just putting everything into a Google Doc for now.
Okay, that's fine. I can put it on there.
And I also can't type anything.
Because you need to use your text tool. So top left corner, you'll get your select,
Gotcha.
then you draw shape options, go to text.
Gotcha.
It can be kind of difficult to place it exactly where you want, so find the size that works first, and then you can go back and move the text into position.
Okay.
with the move tool.
And if anyone does want to just type it in a Google Doc, that's also totally fine. And then I can copy it over later. If it works.
I'm just gonna draw everything manually. I'm gonna freehand it.
Caleb, I have to step away from the computer, but I can pull this up on my phone. Would you mind just doing that, putting the text into the boxes for me?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
So everybody has chosen their stats. We'll move on to the next thing. I'm placing mine right now.
I'll do the first option for mine. Force -1, lore 1, steal 0, sway 1.
Okay. Do you know where you're putting your family bonus?
Probably in what's the move for lore and sway? Or lore, I guess I know sways.
Lore is the main move for it is unleash power, so the technology stuff. But technically also with any of these stats, you can just do a generic like overcome a trial move.
Right. I'll put it in sway then.
Okay.
Do we have a specific system for marking advantage? Not here or no?
No, you'll probably just have to like.
I'll add a star.
Yeah, do something like that.
What's my family bonus?
Let's see. Your family bonus for recollection is +1 to lore or sway. Your choice.
And what's mine for
the last watch? Your characters gain a cover identity in any other family in play. They can pick inheritance moves from the infiltrated family freely. Different characters may pick different families, so you don't get a bonus, but you get other stuff. So you get so you decide what faction you're basically gonna have a cover identity with, and then you can maybe choose a move from them or get a bonus that like they would get. I think is the option, is the idea.
Are you on video now?
You said the first option, David?
Yeah.
And you're adding 1 to sway?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see, what do I get to choose?
Do we do gear now as well?
Yeah, gear you can list the gear that you have. Oh, you were being serious. You're actually freehanding everything. Gear, you automatically get the stuff from last watch. So you get real quick, I'll write this out for you.
Oh, thank you. You don't want me to freehand it?
No. Because I'll just change it anyway.
No.
So you get a sniper rifle.
And I get to add any
tag. Yep. So
what are the extra tags I can add?
Let's see. I'll find the page number for you. tags are on... go to page 62 on the PDF, 61 and 62.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm. So you can add another tag to that sniper rifle. So you get a sniper rifle, you get armored clothes. And you have a black helicopter.
do I get a tag for my clothes as well, or just the
No,
weapon?
just a weapon. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, so that's for the hunter. You also, as a Lost Watch, get Guardian characters gain means to secretly communicate with the rest of the family. Give it 2 from instant, safe, or long ranged. In addition, pick 3. What does that mean? Oh, so a means to secretly communicate. Okay, so you get some sort of communication device with 2 of the 3: instant, safe, or long ranged.
Safe and long range.
Okay. So it's not instant then.
They're carrier falcons.
Really? That's
Yes.
awesome.
With kinetic shields to safe. There you go. Or whatever, terraforming shields, because that's the thing, right?
And does safe mean that the message is safe or the messenger
Yeah.
is safe? Because I like the idea that if someone catches the bird, it just explodes.
Yeah. Okay, are these like robot birds?
Sure.
Yes.
With laser eyes.
Laser eyes.
What tag do you want to add to your sniper rifle?
I could get rather absurd with it.
Mm-hmm.
I could do area, just have a payload rifle.
What?
Yeah. Area or brutal. Devastates its targets and leaves collateral damage. Or affects a wide area when used.
You could just have it be automatic sniper rifle. That's why it's area. Has 0 recoil. You just spray things and kill them all. Yep. It's a belt-fed sniper rifle.
Yes. I think I'm just gonna do area. It's a terraforming sniper rifle. There you go.
It is. Your weapons are based on terraforming technology.
Yeah.
So.
This is the definition of a bad idea. And I love it!
Also, Caleb, I'm just gonna put stuff in the bottom of my perihelion drive dock if that's okay, because I can type it out really fast here, and then okay, thanks. Or faster, I should say.
Then after you do stats, obviously you choose look. Basically, the only thing you shouldn't do yet is backstory, and then we'll also talk about roles and figure out specifically what that will look like.
Right.
But if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
I think I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a specific mechanic attached to Forbidden Paths? As in, like, when I traverse the dark paths of the world, you can always find the way to the forbidden places of the world and beyond. Is this attached to or associated then with the basic move of Wasteland Survival? Or is that something different?
I think it can be substituted for it, yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I can nuke my steel and don't care.
Yeah.
Because
You use magics to do this.
yes,
Oh my gosh, you have +3 lore.
I do.
I have a quick question, Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
My gear option is to add 1 to the quality of a group of followers when you tool up, but I don't have any followers. What is that?
So I guess you don't get any followers then,
Okay.
or you don't get
Well,
that bonus.
The weird thing is that I have loyal staff as an option, but it's not a follower, which is dumb and weird. So I can't apply that to that guy, I guess.
Okay. So what does that say again? Add 1 quality to.
Yeah, it adds a quality to a group of followers when you tool up. But I guess I can't pick my loyal staff for that for some reason.
No, because they don't function as, because it's 1 person and not a.
Okay.
A group.
Well, that's kind of lame. All right, just checking.
Yeah.
I love the looks options for Warlock.
Mm-hmm. Hey guys, guess what?
What?
I'm playing a tsundere again.
Every time?
Every time.
Oh yeah, gear. Where's the rules for gear?
Gear is basically you tool up. You get the stuff that your faction gets.
Okay.
So for you, you get Words of Madness and Power, Sustained by the Void, and Void Walkers. In addition to whatever your...
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, also, Eldritch characters gain a spell to evoke hostile grounds of their choice in the current scene at the cost of -1 harm. So you also have a spell.
Oh yeah.
And then you get whatever your playbook gives you. You should save something about like another extra thing you get. But in addition to what you get from your family, you get the start, middle, or end of a Rite of Great Power. That's so cool. So you don't have the whole thing. That's so funny.
So you could run you could, in theory, have 3 warlocks, each one having part of the Rite of Great Power.
Yeah.
And you do your Rite of Great Power.
Of course, then the GM would say that you had the start, middle, and beginning of 3 different rites of powers, or end of 3
But
different
if you
rites
put
of
them all
power.
together, something does happen. Just maybe not what you want to
Yeah.
happen.
Isn't there?
Sure.
Did you guys ever watch In Between the Lions?
Yep.
Don't think so.
Man, that's
Makes me think of that character that throws parts of words inside of his overly large suspended pants and then shakes them around and pulls out a conjunction.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Just toss them in the pants, shake them around, and pull out a brand new ritual.
It.
I didn't know you lifted weights, Carly.
Well, I do, but not these ones.
Gear's always something that I'm not sure I really understand. I'm not sure I understand the gear entirely.
In most games, it either has stats attached to it or it has tags attached. In most Powered by the Apocalypse games, and in the ones where it just has tags, it's just about narrative justification. So, like, if I run up to a guy who's in a tank and I say I kill him, the GM's gonna be like, okay, cool, how do you do that? I'm gonna be like, with my knife, and he's gonna look at me and say, no, you don't. But then if I run up to him and stick C4 on his tank because I have that, then that might actually justify me rolling to kill him. And that's usually what that means. It's usually just a narrative justification for roles and also for you being able to do things.
Okay.
So I think that's probably what they're going for, because most of the tags don't do much. Some of them give you armor, or some of them might make you do an extra harm, but usually they're just narrative.
Okay.
I love how each playbook gets a different harm clock.
Yeah, it's cool.
Some playbooks never have minus stats when they're
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, like for mine, I just lose my staff, and then I die. Like I don't actually, I don't ever suffer any injuries until I'm dead, but my bodyguard dies.
My servants, they have gone away. I can no longer live, for I cannot feed myself.
Right, yep. It literally says to write their names in your harm boxes.
Who do you want to die first?
Yep, pretty much. I mean, if it's not the bodyguard, he probably hasn't done his job.
Oh, interesting. So the text box just changes sizes when you deselect it.
Yeah.
There isn't a page number on this yet, so that works. So I have no idea how to play this character, but it'll be fun.
What are inheritance moves?
They are basically they're family moves. What does it say for you?
There's a move where I can do local hero. It says get an inheritance move from your family. Take a new one each time you shift icons.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so that means there's a couple of different ones here, but one example for the recollection is when everyone forgets. If you keep your head down and don't make waves or for whatever amount of time the GM says is necessary, you are ignored by those around you. So you can just like disappear into the crowd. Another one is if you remove your mask or another piece of clothing, all of those around you flinch and hesitate for a critical moment.
It's the not ridiculous version of no one can stop looking at you when you strip.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What was that? What was that, Battle Babe from PBTA or from?
It wasn't Battle Babe. It was Skinner.
Skinner, you said?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh! One of the inheritance moves you can get, Connor, is Dance of Blades. When you have room to move freely, your melee weapon gains the area tag.
What the heck?
That's so cool.
Ooh.
You have a melee weapon?
He has cutting words, no.
I was gonna say, I don't think that helps you any.
It's just cool though.
Yeah, it is really cool. I don't think I have inheritance moves. Oh, I do. No, those are for quick characters. Do you get one of these anyways?
No. They're there for various options that give you inheritance moves, but if it doesn't say you get to pick one as a starting character, then you don't get to pick one.
Okay.
Unless it says so. Otherwise, you get the +1 option, right? So.
Yeah. Oh, okay. See. Cool. Thanks.
All right, I get to add a tag as long as I also add unreliable. So I'm going to add to my character's industrial exosuit, mobile, and unreliable. So, my character's a girl, by the way. She has jetpacks on her exosuit.
Nice. She's Iron Man?
She's Iron Man.
Or Diva? Or wait, you played this character already.
That's really funny. Dave and I were talking about that yesterday.
Yeah, we literally just
Except she's an anarchist now.
That's true. And the other one, you were the only person who didn't turn on the government, I guess.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Has everybody chosen everything but their backstory and stuff?
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out if I want to change my faction's equipment from a vehicle to a group instead. I don't know. I really like having planes, but I don't know if everyone having a plane makes as much sense as everyone having bodyguards. I don't know. No, you know what? I had this conversation with myself before, and I realized the whole point was that they don't need bodyguards. Okay, never mind. Scratch that.
What are the playbooks that everybody else chose?
David is an elder. I chose the firebrand. Josh chose the warlock. Jared chose the hunter. And Carly chose the machine.
Carly is very clearly in Caleb's basement here in Wisconsin.
It's true.
It's true. It's true. You are.
What? I don't understand.
I don't know. Jarek is saying something.
Interesting.
What are the names of the people again? Are the playbooks?
The playbooks that everybody chose.
Josh is the warlock. Who?
David is the elder. I am the firebrand. Jared is the hunter. And Carly is the machine.
I don't have trader or prophet options for the elder. Where do I go for those? Do you know? Or there's not any?
The what? Oh.
The trader and prophet roles, because the elder is a base.
Yeah, they should have
playbook.
In the expansion books. They have a list.
Oh, I see. Well, I'll just do it on here then, because I don't want to look for the others.
Yeah. So for the elder on prophet, mark when you focus on your family's youth. Certain they'll become better leaders than you ever were. Say if they will be wiser, stronger, or kinder. The GM says what upheaval they must overcome to mature.
That's cool.
I'll be right back. I need to find out what my family's planning for dinner, because we're right around that time, and I don't want them thinking that I'm ignoring them.
Yeah.
Be right back.
The elder for trader is mark when you depose the leaders you advise. The GM will say who else you need to hurt or sacrifice to assert control. Name who will step in to take over and purge their weakness.
Yikes. Okay, thanks.
Caleb, can you look over the document for my character and see if there's anything else I need to do? I shared it with you.
The machine. Oh my gosh, that's such an awesome name, by the way.
Thanks.
In parentheses, literally.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it looks great. That's really cool. Oh, I need
Okay.
to name my guy.
Watch my kids, I do you. No, they can't. No, they can't.
Yeah, we can.
They just said that they can.
Oh, sorry. That microphone was all the way in your room.
It is. It's a sensitive microphone.
Well, that's stupid.
Okay, I'm actually considering changing and going to the Hellion
Okay.
because I can have a pet monster.
It's true.
Hilarious.
My Hellion move would be my pet monster. Your best friend in the whole wide world is an otherworldly monster and the source of all kinds of trouble. Describe them, tell us their name, and choose 2 monster tricks. Nobody can see it. It goes where no one else can. Only kids and other monsters can hurt it. It can deal out a beating
What?
like only monsters can.
I honestly thought you were gonna pick the Hellion first. Like,
Did you really?
yeah, because it's
What
the
was-
child.
can
thing.
I- Right. Can I just make up something, or in terms of the pet monster, or does it have to fit in with something in particular?
I mean, we'd have to
Anybody
just
have
make
any
sure
ideas as to what it
we
could
can make
be?
sure it fit into the lore, but it could be several different things. I'm totally down with you.
I love only kids and other monsters can hurt it. That's hilarious.
What?
Connor might change his playbook.
Oh, you're going for wait. I think I know which one this is. Oh, it's listed right after the Herald in the end game playbook, right?
Right before, but yeah.
Right before. I don't remember what it's called. What is it?
The Hellion.
The Hellion.
Right. Yes. Okay, so I just
I just spent a lot of time. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I just talked with my family, and we're doing dinner in like 10 minutes. So,
Okay.
I am okay if you guys want to. Can we
What we
take
should
a
do-
quick run? Can we take a quick gander through my backstory options anyway? Or
I think we should. Yeah, we should try to run through the backstory stuff real quickly here. That would be the best option. Just run through everybody's, because there's only like 3 questions for each person. Yeah, because that's the most important thing we need to all be here for. So real quick, let's just do that, and then we can kind of figure out a bit more. David, yours.
So
technically you don't have to do all 3 of these, but
right.
you could have to ask for a volunteer for at least one of them.
Yeah. So blank would make a good match for one of my followers. I assume that means romantically.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Who would like to volunteer to date my bodyguard?
You're a matchmaker after all.
I will for sure. Absolutely.
Oh, okay, cool.
The evil kid? Absolutely.
I was to say
Is
the
that a joke,
warlock.
Connor?
The warlock with no eyes would make a good match for somebody.
Connor, were you joking or?
Definitely.
Good, okay. Because Jared also said he called dibs, so.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Jared would make a good match.
What's everybody's names?
Well, it should probably not be my bodyguard because that's a male. I guess I'll just change it. I don't have a name yet, sorry.
That's fine.
My bodyguards have names.
I'm going with Styros.
Nice.
You've got a slight roll on the R.
You're gonna have to help me spell that probably. All right. So blank and I sat in council before, and I taught them wisdom. Not sure how that happened.
Say that again.
Blank and I sat in council before, and I taught them wisdom. Although I'm gonna pick outsider, which means I'm infiltrating some other person's faction, and I get to say what other groups I've infiltrated. So I picked both the recollection and the what's your cult's name? Because I always forget.
The New Harmony.
New Harmony.
Thank you. I was gonna pick those two. And New Harmony is gonna be the active one.
So I was thinking of choosing Traitor as my role move.
Yeah. Just start off being a traitor.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So I think it would make sense for me to have sat in console with either of those people since I've infiltrated them. Yeah.
Okay.
So that would either be Connor or Josh. Probably.
Be okay with I don't have a good solid concept of Statos yet, so we'll go with him.
What playbook are you again?
The
Warlock.
Warlock, right? I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, Gwen.
I'm thinking like you take the no eyebrows creepy of Grima Wormtongue. The overemphasis on the mouth of Sauron, and then just smooth over where his eyes should be, and that's about what and you've got what Thanos is gonna look like.
Oh boy.
Yes.
I think
Sounds like a
everyone is
nice
gonna
guy.
be a monster.
Yeah, probably.
I'm not gonna look so horrible.
I know.
So remember the deal with the New Harmony is what was the rule about them was that that's right, they had a funky governance rule here that basically says, if I can find it, because I know it in my head, I just don't know the actual name of it. Your true masters are something different from your rank and file. When you pick a doctrine option, also pick one of the other two to be your masters. So in this case, this is one of the masters. Is a monstrous servant.
That's fun.
But the rank and file is arcane cultist.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I know how Blank's parents truly died. I wonder if they would welcome the truth. ...
I volunteer myself.
As tribute.
So I know how.
Her name is Riva. Riva.
His parents really died. The truth. I'm gonna guess probably not. All right. So, that's all my stuff.
Cool. I'll do mine. I respect Blank's concern for others.
It's definitely not me.
Not Statos.
Dibs!
Which one of you?
I mean, I think mine kind of makes more sense.
She can have it.
Okay.
And your name is Harahel, you said?
Yes. Harahel.
Harahel the Vibrant.
Ooh,
You're playing a guy, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Blank has grown fat on the backs of others' labor.
I mean, that seems pretty obvious.
Oh, yeah, that's true. What's your character's name?
I don't have one yet. Sorry.
Okay, I'll just put David.
Okay.
Blank can teach me to understand this new world.
I mean, that warlock has a lot of lore. I don't know.
I think it'd be really funny if it was me.
Okay. I'm down, if you're down.
Yeah.
What was the relationship again?
What race am I? Am I a part of the...
You can decide. Oh, I
so
guess...
I can be a human?
Wait. You're a recollection, right?
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, you'd be human. I mean, there's not really a race besides human. It's just like the race, the humans and Tannerin, I guess. Oh, and the angels, I guess.
Yeah, that's why that's why I asked. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna play a little girl. I'm thinking of taking a lot of ideas from Lift as a person.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love how you're gonna. I am really excited to see how you're gonna fit that into the recollection too. Like what
Yeah.
that's gonna look like.
What do you mean?
Like how is she part of the faction? Right. Like that's the idea.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's also just like super hard for me to make a character on my phone. So
Yeah.
Caleb, I might like come home later or sometime before we actually do it, the RPG, and like have you help me write stuff down because I'm super
that's fine.
confused.
That's fine.
Like Roll20 won't zoom out for me, so I can't like do it on there.
You're trying to use Roll20 on a phone?
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah,
good.
that's not gonna. It's not gonna work.
Do you know what your character's name might be, Connor?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
Name?
That's fine. I just put Connor down.
Okay.
Okay, Josh.
Hold on. I'm looking at other ways of. Oh, hang on. I kind of want to do something weird with his name and go with Episcadzo or Episcadzos. Basically, he who overshadows, or he who eclipses.
I think you should just have your name be he who eclipses or he who overshadows, and that's what we just call him.
But I want the Greek bit.
Oh, okay.
My character's name is going to be Behruz, Behrouz. I think we're going to just try and make it so that no one can pronounce anybody's name, and we'll be good.
Isn't that a standard? Isn't that kind of a standard thing for RPG anyway?
Yeah. Spell that again, David.
Yeah, Behrouz.
Okay, cool.
Episciazzo.
Let me call you Zoe. Is that cool?
Okay,
No.
straight up, my name is Jeff.
I thought you were playing a girl.
I am playing a girl.
Why
dare
is
you.
your name Jeff?
Because my parents named me that, and they suck.
Huh, what?
Well,
they named me a boy's name on purpose to be mean. And so
Why
whenever
wouldn't
I
you just
introduce
call
myself,
yourself something else?
whenever I well, see that's what I'm trying to
Okay, but
figure out.
also Jeff
sorry.
does not
Yeah.
Jeff does not fit the cultural naming scheme of any of the cultures in this game so far.
Oh, okay, I forgot about that.
She's like Mediterranean.
Oh right.
Oh,
Forgot
I picked
like
Persian
Egyptian.
for my name. I don't know if that's good or not.
well, you could just attach a Latin postscript to it. So what all do we have for naming themes so far?
I'm doing Hebrew, obviously.
That's what I figured.
I
I've
literally just found an angel name generator, so.
Nice.
All right, so probably kind of a combination Hebrew, Greek, Latin.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
I've been using Persian because I figured it's already Egyptian enough that
Yeah.
I've probably beat that dead horse to pulp. So
Sure.
something
Okay,
similar.
my name will be Iseret.
Ooh, I love that.
Are you going with Egyptian?
But I can
Connor?
pronounce Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm done.
I just.
Greek.
You're who?
I'm doing Greek.
Oh.
But I think
I've been.
I might do more like poetic English versions of Greek words.
Mm-hmm.
Like who overshadows is the name of the character, but if you want to try to actually address him, it's Episcadzos.
Yeah.
Episciadzos, even.
I mean, the first modification of Jeff that I could think of is Hebrew, but Jethro.
I was just gonna say you could go with Roman and go Jeffus, but that might make
But-
more sense for Jared's characters is to go with more of a Roman.
If you do Jethro, I won't be able to picture you as anything but a really awesome NCIS detective. So
Connor, what did you say your name was now?
Iseret. Iseret. Sorry.
Nice.
Iseret. My idea for my idea for her name being Jeff is like every time people ask her name, she says Jeff, and they'll be like, "Isn't that a boy's name?" And she'd be like, "No, because no." She'd be like, "No, it's my name, and I'm a girl, so it's a girl's name."
Yeah,
Nice.
that's cool. Jared, did you have a name?
I'm working on it.
Okay, I'm just curious. Josh, did you want to read off your backstory stuff?
Sure, hang on. I'm copy pasting. There. Backstory stuff. Ask for a volunteer for at least one. I foresaw blank's fate, and it still awes me.
Foresaw?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think my character can do that.
No, I foresaw your fate.
Oh.
So basically,
And
it's
it
like who
awes
has
me.
destiny ahead of them.
I would like to say me since I'm the little kid.
Okay.
That's cool.
One more time on the name.
Iseret. Iseret.
All right, Iseret. I have foreseen your fate, and it awes me. Aww.
All right, so we've got E.T. and Zoe.
Okay. Blank's bargain for might, or Blank's bargain for power might have doomed us all. So who bargained for power and might have
I
doomed
mean, that
us
can't
all?
always be me, right? Like,
I feel
maybe
like it might
someone
be
else should
Jared.
Take a turn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Do you have a name yet, Jared?
Yep.
What's your name?
It's Cassius Hostilius Vespasianus.
Cassius.
Yep.
All right, Cassius Hostilius Vespasianus. You are now on my list.
Your middle name is literally Hostilius. That's great. Hostile is my middle name.
It doesn't fit at all in the box, but you know what? Actually, I might be able to make it fit. If I do new lines, and then shrink the text to size 12 or 14. Yeah, that works. All right, and then does blank know of the monsters among them?
I think that's me.
Okay.
Yeah, Riva. R-I-V-A.
Riva. Not to be confused with the homeland of a certain Witcher.
And also not to be confused with the homeland of a certain character in the Bulgaria.
Do you share a homeland with the Crystal Exarch? Okay. I'm complete.
Cool. Real quick, what did everybody choose for role moves, or haven't they done that yet?
I chose outsider, which means I've infiltrated somebody else's organization, I guess. Or I've revealed that I have infiltrated someone else's organization.
Okay.
Although I don't know if that's in character revealed or out of character.
Oh, if I'm an outsider, it's Mark when you return home. Tell us about the dark forces that kidnapped you.
Ooh.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah. So you come back to the recollection after being kidnapped by dark forces.
Yeah.
So you were just a
I
child.
want those
of,
memories.
of someone in the recollection. Oh my gosh, Connor. Yeah, the recollection is gonna want those memories so badly.
What do you mean?
Like they're gonna be like, "What did you see? We need to pick apart your brain."
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
All right, dinner is ready for me.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm probably going to go with agent. Mark when people need a symbol to give them hope or direction. Name a treasure of the next world to help them. The GM will pick someone you love or respect as an obstacle that try to stop you or must be sacrificed. Your choice.
Wow. People need a symbol to give them hope or direction. Name a treasure of the next world to help them. What do you think that would be?
Treasure of the next world. I want to say it's probably some sculpture or art piece connected, associated
Maybe
with
a
power.
song, since
Could
we
be.
have such a musical thing.
I kind of want to counterpoint to that though, because I don't want to
Fair.
play that one too hard.
Yeah.
That's true.
I like I like the visual aesthetic of, was it Penrose triangles and like impossible geometry and like combining that with a really visual magical system, despite
Right.
being audio just
Yeah.
sound
What
based.
if, guys? What
Yeah.
if we broaden the theme a little bit to be art gives magic,
Mm,
right? Like, and so
I mean,
there's
I'm down.
Because my whole shtick was just artists in general.
Right.
Mhm.
We use words of power. They could be poetry. They could be song lyrics. They could be, cryptic, unpronounceable words that look really nice
Yeah.
when written out, or mind bending when written out. I'm gonna quickly do. Oh, you got that already. Okay. Treasure of the next world to help them. I'm just gonna go with. Ooh. I kind of want I kind of want it to be an arcane pattern.
Yeah.
Like
a tapestry or something.
Along the lines of the diagram.
Yeah. In Oathbringer.
Yeah, but maybe maybe less. This is the future, and more. This is a really arcane magical spell or design for some kind of a system, or maybe we don't fully know what it is yet.
Sure. Okay, I'll have to think of someone you love or respect as an obstacle.
Okay. And they must be sacrificed.
Yeah.
Because let's just play that to the hilt, shall we?
Yeah.
And with that, I think I'm complete here.
Sure.
Thank you guys. It was fun. I'm going to duck out.
Okay.
Sorry about your overlays, Caleb.
Yeah.
No, you're fine. The overlays don't matter because
No one has cameras.
The pictures are made up and the overlays don't matter. Have a good night, guys. See ya.
Yeah.
See ya, Josh.
Okay. Jared, want to do your backstory stuff?
Yes. Has fought shoulder to shoulder with me. Blank.
Definitely me.
Okay. Connor.
I mean, that's pretty
A
cool.
kid gets around, I guess.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I said that kid gets around, I guess.
Yeah, dude.
Next one is, I feel like half of my characters in the system end up with this one. Once left me for dead.
Oh gosh. Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, honestly, probably Josh.
Oh yeah. Yeah, go ahead and put him down. We'll make sure, we'll double check with him and make sure he's down with that. But yeah, put him down for now. That seems correct.
Is smart enough to be worth keeping around.
I volunteer myself.
All right.
Cool.
And that's it.
Awesome.
So I've noticed I don't think I have a single interaction on my character sheet with Carly's angel things. I'm pretty sure my people don't even know where they live. I'm sure we know they
I don't think
exist,
anyone
but I
really
think that's
does.
probably about it.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense, but yeah.
Cool. Carl's?
Go ahead.
I rescued Blank from a hellish place.
Oh, I mean Connor, right?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that works.
Say it again.
I rescued Blank from a hellish place.
That works, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you
Literally,
spell your name
literally my
again?
guardian angel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Easterhead.
That's
ISERED.
honestly awesome. I definitely want to see that interaction more of you as the guardian angel mentor person and Connor as the lift character. Oh, that's great.
Who literally has a pet monster.
Yeah.
Right.
Think about it. I literally have the angel on my shoulder and the devil on my shoulder.
Oh,
Well,
that's
it's
great.
That's cool.
It's more like you ride on the devil's shoulder and then the angel hovers above your shoulder, but it's close enough.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Okay, so real quick, I'm trying to figure out since we're on the topic, my pet monster. If I wanted to do it goes where no one else can, what will you let me do with that?
So we've discovered because of Josh's stuff that there is a dark dimension seeping around everything. So that would be it, right? It can go into this dark eldritch dimension.
I mean, we have a lot of that. The angels came from another galaxy. my people have a dome that has pathways that can lead to other worlds, and I also have some kind of weird portal in the center somewhere that's that's defended by some weird guardian. And then the Josh has his weird Cthulhu miasma chaos things. There's a million places you could go.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But that's the most obvious one to me is the dark dimension that's permeating everything.
Right.
Especially if it's like
Okay.
So it might even be like you made friends with a Tannerin.
I don't know.
You don't have to have it.
Yeah. I don't know. The Tannerin freaked me out.
Yeah.
But that'd be so cool.
I mean, he did say it
Can
was
it be
a
a
devil
baby
on your shoulder.
Girl with like a Tannerin.
So this is the thing. The Tannerin appear in this world as like eldritch like squid things. So it would be something like that.
Well, I was definitely going to choose nobody can see it no matter what.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So I literally will be like, it's my pet monster friend, and nobody will be able to see it, and I'll be like,
people will just
they
think
just
it's
don't
imaginary.
understand.
Yeah.
People think it is my imaginary friend that kills people.
Great.
That kills people, Carl.
Yep, so I'm gonna do nobody can see it, and it can deal out a beating like only monsters can. Then I have to choose two monster bad habits as well. It's really funny. It attracts other monsters. It eats what it shouldn't. It's too lazy to act sometimes. It's jealous of your relationships. It's always mad and loves breaking stuff. I think I'm gonna have to go with it's jealous of your relationships. Okay,
agreed.
So can it be a baby Tannerin?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, all right, super cool. So he's
so
a
it's
little
like
kid like me.
Yeah. So a little bit of Beyond Two Souls kind of going on too.
I think and I don't know about the sort of setup for the demons, but I think it would be cool if the reason no one can see this one is because he's let it have its sort of like its roots in his mind her mind instead of the planet, so it doesn't take the same form. So
well, yeah, I was gonna say it. What it probably is
gives him psychic powers
it's
too.
Too young to take form yet.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like it can't take a form until it grows up enough. Right.
Yeah.
I'm totally down with that. That's really cool.
I like that. Assuming Connor does. It's up to him, I suppose.
What did you say again?
That the Tannerin was young, and that's why it doesn't have like a form, which is why it's invisible.
I don't really understand that concept.
Sorry, yeah, basically just like instead of being a normal demon-looking thing, it's too young to like be that. So instead, it's invisible and like bonded to you, or whatever. If it's Tannerin, right?
Yeah.
Since Tannerin look different based on where they live and that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I'm gonna read off the next one, Carla.
The last time Blank and I traveled together, they were the only organic to survive.
Oh my goodness.
I think me.
What does that mean?
Okay.
Reva, yeah.
Like the only actual flesh being.
Yeah, but where did you go that everybody died?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out.
Did you leave your tray table up and your chair back in the full upright position?
RIVA, yeah.
Yeah.
He must have left his tray table up and his chair back in the full upright position.
And then the last one is Blank and I have fought on opposite sides. And I'm assuming that's David's character. If that makes
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
What's your character's name? Do you have one yet?
Behruz, Behrouz.
What role are you gonna choose, Carly?
Agent. Mark when you are sent somewhere no organic should survive. Say what the experience awakens in you. Altruism and self-sacrifice or self-centered coldness.
Okay.
She probably marked that when she saved the saved Connor's character, right? somewhere that no human can normally
Oh
survive.
yeah, that's probably what it was. Yeah. Yeah. So your last task that you just completed, Carly, is you saved
Yeah.
Connor, Etharet from the hell dimension. So okay, what did the experience awaken in you? So before this time, right, you've been like impassionate, right? Like you're a robot, and this experience awakened something in you.
Yeah, I think the altruism and self-sacrifice portion.
Yeah. So I think for you, Carly, or
like more of a determination to fulfill my mission.
Right, exactly, right? For Harahel, right, he's been on this planet for a long time and has watched the apocalypse happen and maybe has gained like a sense of hopelessness about everything. And something about what you did to save Connor's character reawakened that spark of altruism and self-sacrifice in you. I'm totally down. That's so cool.
He's a burning wheel elf.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Connor, want to choose your backstory options?
Yeah. Okay, so Blank gave me shelter when I was a runaway.
I mean, probably me. Like after I saved you.
I can't copy and paste things from. Oh wait, no, I can. Hold up. Maybe. Hold up a sec. I just actually need to like be able to write it down. It's like difficult. Very difficult. Very easy to spot this playbook, though. It's a very creepy little kid. There we go. Beautiful.
Yeah, the playbook art in this game is awesome.
No, that didn't work. Okay, never mind. What's your character's name?
You're gonna have to be more specific. There's a lot of U's.
Harahel.
Carly?
Harahel.
Okay.
I love how one of your harm boxes is saved by my monster.
Nice.
Wow, that's so good. And then Blank knew my real parents I
have a thought about this. What if you choose David's character and we are actually sisters?
How old are you?
Like probably young adult.
Okay. I'm probably 11.
Because remember, David knows something about my parents too.
Okay.
And so I think it might be interesting if you're fine with that, David.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right, where it's like you knew the secret of both of our parents and why like we were separated from each other, like all of that, right?
Well, and one of the things from my role is that I get to say which organizations I've infiltrated, and I wanted the recollection to be one of them. Yeah. So that makes sense.
Sure.
What is your name, David?
Behruz, Behrous.
Rouhz?
Just Z.
Just Z.
BEH.
Okay.
ROUZ.
And then David, what is your character about again?
What am I about?
Yeah. What is it? What are you again?
An elder.
No, but the rest of this. Yeah.
He's an outsider for his role, so he's sort of like an infiltrator, like a diplomatic almost infiltrator of other factions. So he's basically like a advisor for other factions, but he really just advises in ways that will help his faction.
Okay, gotcha.
Basically.
Okay, and then Blank is also haunted by monsters.
He's also haunted by monsters.
Yeah.
What about Jared for that?
I mean, I'm.
Sorry, what did you say?
Blank is also haunted by monsters.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that. Oh yeah, like real monsters. You're haunted by monsters.
Yeah.
I'm down.
And I was thinking like, you could even have like I'm haunted by like the monsters of what I did in the past. You know what I mean? Like it could be a metaphysical, a metaphorical type of haunted.
But in some way, you guys can relate to each other on that, right? That's the idea.
Right.
Sounds good.
Jared, what's your character's name?
Cassius Hostilius Vespasianus.
Vespasianus.
Okay. Can you spell that for me, please?
Vespasianus.
Cassius.
Yeah. ASSIUS space.
Wait, hold up. You need to go slower.
C. A. S. S. I. U. S.
Oh, that's it?
Hostilius Vespasianus.
You pronounce that differently every time you say it.
That's ridiculous. Okay.
What role move are you going to choose, Connor?
Outsider.
Right, Mark, when you return home. Tell us about the dark forces that kidnapped you. GM will tell us about the place of your captivity. Okay.
I'm assuming it was Tannerin, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I escaped with one of their babies.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then what I should really do, how horrible would it be if my monster also attracted Tannerin?
That's awesome. Is that one of the things you can choose?
Yes. How bad would that be? Like, how screwed are we if Tannerin
It doesn't have to be super bad. Like,
okay.
The Tannerin on this world aren't like, oh, we're just going to eat your soul now, like, immediately, or, like, destroy all of civilization. They're much more settled than that.
And Josh's whole faction is, like, hangs out with Tannerin all day, so... Yeah,
okay,
we're not really, but you know what I mean.
Cool. What is that noise?
And then it looks like, Jared, you chose agent for yours as well?
Yeah.
Mark, when you take on a mission to hunt down a dangerous target, the GM will say some special gear the family gives you to help. Okay, so let's run through this real quick. Let's run through everybody's kind of like starting state here. David, what did you choose again? Agent? Outsider?
Outsider.
You reveal your membership in a secret faction. Say which other groups they've infiltrated.
So he's infiltrated the Recollection, but he's currently infiltrating the new Josh's faction.
The new Harmony.
Harmony, yeah.
Okay.
So I'd say New Horizon, but that's a PS4 game.
Okay, so basically you've just finished, like, beforehand you infiltrated the Recollection, but now you're currently trying to infiltrate the New Harmony to do what exactly?
Right. I had a thing where I want to find out about the forces that give Josh power, I guess, was like one of my history things. Like, he was saved by one of his characters or whatever, his faction was saved by an otherworldly thing, and I want to know what it is.
Okay. Sounds good. Then we know starting state for your character. Oh, I don't think I wrote down mine. I guess Riva is gonna mark rebel. Mark when your actions cause suffering to a group you have no quarrel with. Say one group you need to make amends with. So I think what happened, Carly, is for some reason the Hellbreakers cause suffering for the Forgotten Heralds, and I need to make amends with them. So that is true. A true thing that happened. I don't exactly know specifically what. Maybe I got someone in the group killed, or.
Well, didn't she just go through a circumstance where only one human being survived or something?
Yes. Yeah,
that
that's
sounds
true.
like the kind of thing to apologize for. I don't know.
Well, I mean, technically, it was organic, right? And they're all inorganic.
Well, right, but I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that none of the inorganic people died. It's just all the organic people died. And honestly, I mean, their whole point is to save this place. So that's still kind of a thing.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, so maybe
know,
we try to cooperate on some sort of mission, Harhel, and
just
I ended up
into their house or something. Just kidding.
I ended up either inadvertently causing the deaths of some of your people, and so Ruben needs to make amends with them. Okay. Let's see. Josh had agent, so he's trying to figure out this whole tapestry diagram thing. So I need to pick someone he loves and respects as an obstacle. So I'll do that. Let's see. When you take on a mission to hunt down a dangerous target, do you have any ideas, Jared? What could be your dangerous target?
I have no idea.
Is
it could be me.
Could be David.
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd want to kill me, but it seems dramatic, and I didn't expect this character to live very long.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it would depend on what the premise of whatever our adventure is.
Well,
the thing is, right? Like,
narratively go with that.
It will depend on who we start with, right? Who's free the first week.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true. We did establish, well, because also there's above session play, like the faction play, so that'll decide things too. But we did establish that one of your cells gets weapons from me.
I thought
to protect me.
I thought they gave you what? Wait, no, you gave them weapons in the. Okay, yeah, no, I get it.
And that the other cells, if they found out, would not like that. Mm-hmm. So maybe this character is one of those other cells, and they want to stop the flow of weapons from your healing into this other cell because they don't want the other cell to be in this transaction with us since they're trying to kill us.
Yeah.
Just an idea. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, we can also just leave that kind of question mark for now, and then when first time we see Cassius, we can fit him into what's going on in the immediate. Okay.
Okay, so I have a super cool ability that's called the Weird Stare. It says when you let loose the energies boiling inside of you, you roll plus sway, and you say what you're trying to do. The three things that I can do with it is protect someone you love, banish a monster, or destroy a barrier. And it says, and what you are ready to wreck to get it done. And the options are the whole place, another bit of your humanity, your hell, or the respect of your friends.
Wow.
Dang.
So I have no idea what the Weird Stare is, but that's super cool, and I picked it, so.
Yeah. So Carly, you chose agent. Mark, when you are sent somewhere no organic should survive. Awakens in you. Okay, so that's something you just did. So what are you currently kind of up to? Maybe you're like trying to help Iseret to not like become a demon.
Probably.
Right? You're like just like looking out for her right now.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, part of that could be that you're trying to figure out the thing that is following him around because it's, I mean, literally demons.
That's totally true.
Yeah.
So.
And then you said outsider, Connor. so loud. So really for you, Connor, right now you're just like figuring out like who this monster is, really, right? Yeah, and that's a fine starting state. And then the only thing we'll have to just keep in mind for next time, right, is what our families want. Because ultimately, right, the reason anyone does anything, and like the characters do stuff.
Carly?
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
So, what does my family want?
Well, so that's what I was just gonna explain.
Okay. Also, I think it might be more fun for me if I already know what the monster can do, but nobody else does. And
yeah, I mean, you could have.
that's kind of what I was banking on.
Yeah, that's true.
Is like it being invisible and me being like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I have an invisible friend. But
Sure.
you're just saying like I don't know like
No, that's fine.
the nature of a Tannerin really.
Mainly, I was just like thinking like the thing that you're probably caring about is like continuing to develop the relationship with this thing.
Oh
right?
yeah. Okay, for sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
that was
yeah.
my idea.
Yeah, guys, I need to go.
Okay.
See ya.
Sounds good.
See you, Jared.
Bye, Jerry.
Bye.
I should probably go too.
Yeah. The only thing I was just gonna say is like in terms of like what we'll decide like what we start with. It will be like, what does your faction need? What do you want to accomplish?
Right.
Because at the end of eras or at the beginning of eras or something like that, you roll mood, and then it decides like how your faction is doing, whether or not something bad happens to them. So you just have to keep in mind the stuff that you need in terms of your resources, and ultimately you're going to be trying to work for your faction to get those things. So that'll be an integral part of this as well. But it will definitely be decided by who we start with next time. So, but I think we have really good starting states for everybody now, so it should help us to get a good idea of what to start with. Love your characters; they're great.
Yeah, they're pretty fun. Do we start the game with a like faction level thing or a character level thing?
Let's see. Let's see what like the first session stuff says. Not entirely sure. Here we go. Okay. So it says, once the characters are made, it's time to start the game. The characters' role moves should give each of them a driving mission to work on, and each family's needs tell you what things they're trying to find in the wasteland. For your first age, start with the characters helping each other out to pursue their role missions, taking occasional breaks to show the family level and work out what sorts of things they're working on. I'd recommend being explicit about the level you're playing at, family or character, to minimize the amount of moves, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, basically it's just like, take a look at the things your role moves are saying you're interested in right now and your needs, and then start something and have the characters help each other.
Okay.
So we'll probably just figure out who we're starting with next time, and then be like, okay, we're gonna start with one of you, as what we're gonna pursue, what your main character is interested in. Maybe you can find one or two of them to like work together and do them simultaneously. But then we'll either be like, okay, why would your other character be here during this, or make a quick character if there's a situation that comes up where it's like, oh yeah, there isn't a character that fits here.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. So should be as simple as that.
Cool.
Well, there you go. I think that's probably it for episode 0.2 of the Hellbreaker sequence. We got all the characters and families made, and we'll start probably next week sometime. Week after, I guess, because it's Saturday. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream now. Adios, guys.
Ciao.